Yo, 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 ladies and lads, welcome to the Tekken World Tour Roundup 2019 podcast here. The end of year. We always do one of these annually, and this time I'm joined by OG Bubsy, Joey Fury, and Blackbeard. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good,
Shit.
man. Let's get spagged.
That was messed up. I delayed it because I thought everyone was going to talk first at the same time. I actually delayed
See,
as well.
this is man's a professional commentator out here, and he's like, let me give these guys the floor, and everyone just shuts up with it. Absolute classic.
Bro, I was saying Bubsy deserves to go first, innit? Commentator.
But yeah, man. Either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please share the stream out. Let everyone know what's going on here. So obviously, if you are seeing this for the first time, yeah, we did one of these last year as well, where we basically just go over the world tour. We just reflect on this past year. We look at the highlights. We talk about the positives and negatives, and then we're gonna end with looking through basically what we think could be really, really good for next year. Some suggestions for what can happen next year. So yeah, I think let's just crack straight on, man, with it. Like, I want to ask you actually, Joey, because it's interesting for me because now we finally have someone from America, and I know you weren't as active this year on the world tour
Sure.
than you were before, but did you keep a close eye on? Were you watching? What was some things that you found really interesting about this year?
I was watching quite a bit. I think it's not specifically about this year because it happened last year, but this phenomenon of changing the game during the tour has been happening 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Like with the big season update, and there just seems to be this sort of culture, like very reactionary culture happening within the tour, where Super Akuma won this big master event with Akuma, and I feel like so many people have known for so long this character is so good, but then somebody wins with the character, and then everyone's like, this is crazy. Everyone's posting clips of him death comboing Chikarin, whoever it was, and it's just, there's so much sort of reactionary behavior happening, just with regards to like how somebody places with the character, and it's just really interesting to see like a character nerfed right before the final.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting if you think about it. That's one thing that we can definitely expand on a bit later on when we get to the sort of negatives of the world tour. But I agree with you, and I feel like even recently with like Leroy, people are like, it's funny because I've been streaming. I started streaming again after a long time, and people are coming to my chat and asking me, Spag, everyone's saying Leroy's busted, but can you explain to me? I've had to explain. I know you were watching as well when I was streaming, and I had to kind of go through why Leroy's kind of really, really strong. So people are kind of just jumping on a bandwagon. There's a lot of people that are just saying this character's stupid, this character's too strong, and they don't even know why. You know, it's like, I think it's just people following their idols and big people like Ni or whoever. If someone says something, they'll just follow it blindly, man. Like you said, Ni, Akuma, for example, was C tier to a lot of Koreans, and all of a sudden now he's too strong. It's definitely crazy, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, we'll expand on that a little bit more with regards to the world tour. Bubsy.
Yo.
Bubsy, man. How you doing, bro?
It's good. I'm good. I just smell mad garlicky. I've been cooking and preparing all day.
Meal prep, yeah?
Yeah, man. If your Christmas dinner ain't been like prepped for like 24 hours, I'm not coming to eat Christmas dinner at your house, man. It needs to be properly. No, it's true, man. It needs to be properly. What am I cooking? Yeah. I've got turkey. I've got a leg of lamb. I've got a beef joint. I've got a chicken. Do some rice. Do some veg. Do some mac and cheese. Like it's everything. Like
the table is
a big
up.
feast.
The table is full, bro.
Look at Adnan's face. He wants to come, man. He wants to
not one single empty spot on the table, man.
No, you know what? I'll take pictures and I'll show you that.
Cool.
I'll show you that tomorrow or something when it's all done.
Awesome. Adnan, Blackbeard.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother? Give me your thoughts. Just a quick sort of thoughts on how you think this Tekken World Tour 2019 went, and before we get into the nitty gritty.
This world tour was very different from the first world tour. Like the first world tour actually spanned out like how you would expect it to, like normally, and then all the way up until the end. But this year, man, it's been like one hell of a ride. Like we've had like ever since we started off the first master with Super Akuma, winning with Akuma, the mix-up taking up so many heads, and I've never seen like something being so much discussed because of a character's impact on a tour. Like that was just like printed from the beginning, like just because he won the first master, and then everything was just about Akuma since then. And you know, it wasn't just about Super Akuma. Then something else happened in the second half of the season as well. You know, but all this actually started before the World Tour even started with EVO Japan, where everyone knows what happened. So
I'm trying to think. In season 2, was there a standout character that people complained about? Because I know season 1 it was Dragon Lord. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Sorry, yeah, sorry,
Dude,
yeah.
oh
there you
my
go.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Season 2 geese, bro.
it was, but I still think Super Akuma. Like, oh no, I'm just saying Super Akuma now. Sorry. But Akuma as a character, and mainly because Super Akuma won that first master. If he had won like this, if let's say the mixer was the third master, it wouldn't have the same impact as it did, just because Super Akuma actually kicked off the tour by beating so many strong players with Akuma, and it just sparked so much heat, man.
Which I think is so unfair, man. If you think about it from Akuma's perspective, Super Akuma's perspective, it's like this guy just like played the tournament of his life, banged up bare legends and that.
Exactly.
And then man's just like, your character is dumb. It's not you, fam. You're crap. It's your character.
Exactly.
How's that gonna make him feel? Imagine this guy is sitting at home.
But
yeah,
that was
like, where's my phone?
and that was exactly the main discussion, right? Oh, this character is dumb, blah blah blah. No one was not really giving Super Akuma the credit.
Man is sitting at home, with his hitbox in it. Just bare mashing, And
but you know what?
He's learning
How many
the
times
game.
I said that a couple of times? I said that people are sleeping on Super Akuma because they believe it's his character. Who did I say that to? Did I say it to you, Spag? That I think people are actually sleeping on him.
Yeah.
They're just saying, "Oh, it's his character." They're actually sleeping on him and how he actually works the character.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, again, we'll definitely expand on that more with implications on the World Tour. But yeah, it's been a huge thing this year, man. Just Akuma in general and just characters. But let's move on to highlights of the year, man.
So like you said, like if you have to break it down bits by bits, man, because a lot of stuff.
We need to break it down. Definitely need to break it down. So I want to talk about the highlights of the year, man, and it doesn't necessarily have to be really so much on the Tekken World Tour, right? This what I want to talk about, Pakistan, man. I want to talk our first one. The thing that I want to talk about is Pakistan, man. Of course, Arslan Ash and his story. 2019, I believe, belongs to this man that we see on screen right now. Arslan Ash winning EVO Japan. The way he won it, 3 days no sleep, traveling and getting fucked around at the airports. No food, no drink, not accepting his money, goes and manages to get to the venue at 10 a.m. when his pool starts. No sleep, nothing, hasn't even gone to the hotel. Has to play Knee immediately, beats him, loses to Bowalov, and then does the craziest loser bracket run to go through all of the qualified players from Tekken World Tour 2018, destroys them all, and wins EVO Japan. I mean, Arslan Ash and me, Adnan, and actually Bubsy, we could all say, right, Asim told us about the Pakistan scene back in the old Tekken 6 days.
6 days, definitely.
Bro, he was saying this a decade ago. He was telling everybody this a decade ago. You know, the first time he came to the first international tournament Asim attended was Dama Germany. Me, Lionel, Mario, Ru came. We were all there, and he was telling us like he was beating so many people, and they wondered like, who is this guy? But he told them like, this is the kind of level we have where I'm from. Yeah. This is the kind of Tekken we play, and people just laughed at him.
Yeah.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah. People literally laughed at him. It's
idiots,
man. Yeah, people laughed at him, and of course, it is kind of laughable in a way if you think about it, because like you think the Koreans have been so dominant for such a long time, and all of a sudden now, like we have this beast, right? Who from in Arslan, who just comes out of nowhere and just destroys people, and he needed to do a lot because people weren't believers, man. Even I'm not going to call out names, but there were people who were just saying it's not Pakistan, it's just Arslan. Shut up, stop talking about Pakistan. And what an amazing thing this guy has done. To really put he put Pakistan on the map in the best possible way. To win Evo Vegas the way he won it as well. I mean, Bubsy, you were saying, right? Like when you watched him versus Anakin, how dominant Anakin was this year. But
That I think that for me was one of the hardest matches to watch. Like I was like, wow, this is. Ooh,
yeah,
I remember that.
yeah.
I think I
That
even missed
sucked.
his
That
minute.
sucked to watch.
Yeah, I was like, this is ooh, like
yeah.
brutal.
It
We
was
just blame Geese for that.
just like Geese is too strong, man. Season 2 Geese. But yeah, man, it was amazing what Arslan was able to do. And then another highlight, I feel like, obviously just the Pakistan scene. So we need to talk about the Pakistan scene in general as well. I want to give a massive shout outs to Game One Esports in Pakistan. Amazing tournament organizers. We went down there this year to do a tournament, Takra Cup, and it was actually so amazing to go there and actually witness the community. As you can see on screen right now, we went there, we did a tournament, and it's not just Arslan. Like we said, there's players all around this region that are super solid, man, and I don't know. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and before we proceed further, Game One Esports, run by MicroNukex, also his real name is Sakib. He's been involved with the FGC for a very long time. A lot of people don't know him, but I remember he actually traveled to the first Evo he traveled to was in Street Fighter 4, and it was actually the same impact that some Pakistani players had. People don't know who Sakib was. But he beat so many people.
Really?
Like he went to Super Arcade in casuals, and he got really far in Evo. He beat so many people, man. That was Street Fighter 4, man. And he was like, I don't remember which Evo it was, but it was Evo in Street Fighter 4. And he went there and he beat so many people. And there was also one of those moments where like, wow, this Pakistani guy, who is he? Where did he come from? He's just beating everybody up.
Yeah.
And this is the main guy of Game One Esports, the organizer of
and he was telling me that because like you said correctly, Street Fighter is his main game. He was telling me that there's a player in Pakistan currently who, if he went to international tournaments, he goes, Hassan, trust me, he would destroy so many people. He would be Punk, in Street Fighter now, he said this guy would body bare people. And like you said, the reason why this Takra Cup was such an amazing event, it was a big team effort, right? Like we, me, my brother Umar, and Jamal. Shout out to Umar, man, he's watching as well. We got into a call with Sakib. Aston was the one who gave us his contact. We talked to him, and immediately we could see the passion this man had. There wasn't no greed, there wasn't no money hungry attitude from him. It was just pure passion. He put in so much money. Their whole team put in so much money from their own pockets to put this event on. UIU then came in as well, and the promotion they did was huge for the event. Unequal Media as well, to shout outs to Umar and Sadiq, who not only 2 people streamed this whole thing. Everything you're seeing on screen right now, or if you watched the event, it was 2 people that were awake for 50 hours. 50 hours they were awake for to run everything and help organize a tournament as well when things went rough. They did an amazing job. And this is the reason why I really hope that there's going to be a challenger or a master in Pakistan next year. I think Rada was saying it. Even Aris was saying he wants to see a master in Pakistan. He didn't say challenger. He goes, I want to see a master in Pakistan. So what do you guys think about that?
What was I going to say? Would that mean that it will create like a new region, as in there'll be their own kind of separate region then if it was a master?
Not necessarily. I mean, Pakistan region could be a part of Asia.
Oh, Asia. Yeah, I guess so.
Well, right now they have Europe and Middle East grouped together. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's EMEA or some shit. It's like
EMEA. But Pakistan geographically comes under Southeast Asia, so it doesn't really belong to Middle East, as such.
Well, so truthfully, they don't have enough regions right now. Like they've misclassified the world.
The
past 2 years or 3 years.
I believe so as well. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like Europe struggled a bit, and we'll go. Like I said, we'll go into that a little bit later, and that specific point I think is very, very important, Joey. But yeah, I mean, I really hope that there is an official event next year, and I hope that a lot of people that are watching at home and people will come to Pakistan, because this event was mainly also to prove that Pakistan is a safe country to go to. If I tell you about this specific event, it was done in a place called the Pearl Continental Hotel. just next to Islamabad, which is where all the diplomats live. And I'm telling you, this is a military, protected zone. I couldn't even take a picture outside the venue because some undercover army guy came to me and said, "You got to delete the picture, man, because there's the military bases just out there." And they had snipers on the roof, man. They had a sniper on the roof. I'm not even kidding. They had a literal sniper.
But even if it wasn't a military area, it would still be safe, man.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it would be. And you really don't know how how fun Pakistan is, and it's such a unique experience. Fergus was a good example of how he was really scared of going to Pakistan because of everything he's heard in the media. But when he went,
he was probably one of the most scared ones.
Yes, and now he's saying to me that he wants to go back there immediately. He's actually thinking of going there next month. So it's definitely, if you guys at home want to come to Pakistan, hopefully if we do another event in 2020, then you guys should definitely come with us because we'll protect you from getting the shits. You're not going to get no shits like chicken in. We're going to make you have the pristine food and you have a great time. But yeah, Pakistan...
Unless you don't listen like Fergus. Right?
Yeah, unless you don't listen like that.
You should tell about that. You should tell him about that.
So basically, I told Fergus, I said to Fergus, only listen to me. Listen to me and Haroon and Gosain and my brother on what you should eat and not eat, right? And of course, Shahir, who's in the chat, Infinex. Listen to these guys because they'll help you. The whole time this guy's in Pakistan, we carefully kept him away from anything that was going to give him the shits. I then told him on the last day, when you're flying back from Pakistan to any country, never eat the plain food. If you're coming to Pakistan, it's fine. But when you're flying away from Pakistan, don't eat the food. He's like, okay. Then this idiot goes and he ate the food because he was like, oh, it looked hot. And then he got the shit. I'm like, you survived a week and a half in Pakistan without getting the shit. You get the shit from plain food.
The thing is, if you travel on something like the Emirates, you can eat the food. But if you travel on PIA,
bruv,
don't eat the food.
It was PIA, fam. It was PIA.
Pakistan International.
International Airline.
Bro, those guys don't give a shit. The table doesn't even stay straight, bruv. Like that shit will fall down. That airline is shagged, bruv. But yeah, man. Shouts to Fergus. Yeah, at least he came down, innit? Another one I want to talk about, a highlight for me personally, is Jordan. Jordan, I went down there. It was such a surprise. It came out of nowhere, Shouts to Fate Esports. I went down there. They had a very, very small scene, a beautiful, beautiful country, Jordan, Amman, the city. And, they had... I want to tell the story about this little kid I saw. He was like literally walking around. And if you're not aware of what this was, it was an invitational with all the top Pakistanis and the Rocks Dragons guys and, Ulsan and stuff. So this is the first time these guys have experienced like these international guys. And there's a little 7-year-old kid, 7 years old, yeah. Little tiny kid, little shy kid, not talking to anyone, not looking at anyone, walking around with a black PS4 pad in his hand. And he played against Knee. This man did electric, dash electric, back to 1 combos, and he didn't drop a single combo.
Wait, he was 7.
7 years old, on a pad, yeah.
Wow.
On Knee. Crazy. He did it on Knee in a match. And Knee, you could see his face, he was like, what? Like, what? He didn't drop a single electric. Even when he just whiffed it in the neutral, like, he would always hit electrics. Little 7-year-old kid, so for me, it was amazing to see that scene, and they were very passionate and stuff. But yeah, man, Jordan, that's one of the things I think has been really great about Tekken World Tour this year is just the diversity, I think, just been so many new countries getting into the mix. South Africa as well. You got the African scene finally on the map, which I think is awesome too. So
did anyone from Europe go to South Africa? I can't actually remember.
No. I mean, Asim tried to go, but...
Asim tried to go, yeah.
He didn't get the visa in time. It was unfortunate, but it is what it is. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about as a highlight before we get into the positives of the World Tour? We're going to try to break down the World Tour.
The Malaysia Cup, man. Like, that's the first time we saw new Pakistanis come out other than Ruslan Ash, and that was Awais Honey's, breakout debut.
Yeah.
And so that's where everyone said like Arslan is a fluke, like he won't do it again and blah blah blah. And he's probably the best guy in Pakistan. He's probably everyone else in Pakistan are probably levels below him. But and then a guy called Awais Honey just comes out and beats Knee again, and then Knee's already hunted earlier this year by Arslan, and now this another guy, this demon, like Pakistani demon, just beats them. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Malaysia Cup was
And not to mention Japan as well, Tokyo, man, having all those bloody it was everyone was there, bro. And the number 1 and 2 were Pakistan. That's incredible.
I think it was refreshing to see. It gave like a new narrative, and I feel because for how many years it's always been like Korea dominant, maybe Japan back and forth, but like this year. It was like a whole new
Fox Grand Finals all the time.
Yeah, it was just a breath of fresh air. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing against them, but
See, season 1 was JDCR sane every event. But this year it was just like wow, it was refreshing to see something new, something different. Yeah, so it's cool.
So and the Pakistani Tekken was not the only thing we saw. Like we saw the Peruvians, rise up as well to the occasion.
Abel qualified this year.
Yeah, that was amazing. And who was the guy, the Mishima player? Roberto, I think. Like amazing player, man.
Yeah, definitely. So Joe, you want to say something?
Well, yeah. So of course, like the Pakistani uprising was such a huge highlight of the year. It's really surreal. And like you guys were saying, there was a lot of just doubt when Arslan kind of came out of the scene, and people were saying like, well, no one else from Pakistan can do this, and just so much consistency that like throughout the tour, just these new Pakistani players making this massive impact. Atif, Awais, the John. When things started looking like grim for Pakistan in the LCQ, Bilal ends up winning it all. It's been so convincing. But aside from that, I have to say one of the biggest highlights of the whole year for me was seeing iMusician on the tour in events. This guy has been so unbelievable to me. Like I can't even believe what I've been seeing. Just the level of play that he's demonstrating with this completely overlooked character.
And the guy's not a player, man. He's an artist, man.
His performance in the LCQ just blew my mind, and so I really hope I see more of him this year. He's such a cool player.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, he's very young. He's also extremely educated. I don't know if you got. He probably has.
He's a genius, man. Just seeing him play Tekken, I'm convinced he's a genius.
Yeah, the guy has like extremely good English. Like we already know that Koreans actually are very good English anyway. Like Lohai's English is getting super good. CBM, used to live in the UK and stuff. But iMusician's English is actually very good. And he was helping translate when we were in Jordan, because he went to Jordan as well with the Rocks Dragons guys. But yeah, like I said, amazing. I actually got to play him. I went to Korea. I had to play him in tournament. And usually, so this is what I thought, man, in my head, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use Eddie because when I play Kane, I always beat him because I just play patient. And then I wasn't ready for. He's like, okay, you're just gonna backdash. I'm just gonna heal. He's like, man's just doing this, innit? I'm like, shit, I can't just backdash anymore, innit? So I had to try and fight him, and it was. I would say it was a bit close, but I mean, I could tell then, man, like, this guy is so strong, and with this character, like you said, Joey, such an overlooked character like Yoshimitsu, it's incredible, and I hope that we see him more next year, man, coming to like America and Europe.
Yeah, and then you were told by the other Koreans that like if it's the first time playing him, like no one gonna beat him.
Yeah,
you get banged up.
They say, man, if this is the first time you played iMusician, good luck, because
welcome to his world, man. Like of this infinite maze, right? Like, I tried to make your way out, man.
I was so scared to just like approach him because I'm like, you have something up your sleeve. You look at your face. You got this shit-eating grin. I know there's something that you're gonna pull out, and I'm gonna get bodied. So I'm just gonna chill. I'm like, crazy player, man. But yeah,
definitely the most entertaining player of 2019.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, him and the John. I really like watching the John. I like more players.
I love I love the key charges from the John, man. Yeah. But man. Apart from that, another highlight of mine, which I'm gonna end with, is just the Japanese scene in general in the Tekken World Tour. They were extremely. What are you laughing at, Haroon?
Tekken is a Japanese game.
I was laughing at. I looked at the screen, I just see Haroon on my screen.
But yeah, like the Japanese scene, being so bonded together at the finals, they were louder than anyone, and it was crazy. Even the LCQ off-stream match, with Gen and the John, it was like a few Pakistanis that were quiet. Apart from me, everyone was quiet. But then you got these Japanese that every round, every hit, they were like, yeah, let's fucking go. They were going crazy.
I was going to ask about that actually. How did you find compare it? I guess. You didn't go to the first one. Compare it to the EU and this one this year. What was the atmosphere? How would you say The atmosphere was.
The atmosphere, because the venue was not as good as Amsterdam. Amsterdam venue was particularly good because it was huge, it was grand, it was bigger and better, I feel. But they did a good job in finding. It was a good venue. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good venue, the one they had in Thailand. I just think that the atmosphere was. It was still electric, and I think the Japanese had a lot to do with it. They were extremely loud. They were chanting. You could hear them I could hear them from my commentary desk with my headset on. It was amazing, and you could see the passion that they had. They really wanted this win, and Nobi said it himself. He said, "Look, everyone keeps on talking about Pakistan, but Japan is where this game started. This is the origin of the game. We're gonna win this shit, and we're gonna show you that Japan is the best." And they had this sort of Japanese pride thing happening with them. And when Chikarin won, you started crying, and everyone just jumped on the stage.
So you could say they prepared their vengeance really, really well until the end.
And
right?
it's not just
all this time, like I feel like Japan has just been behind the Koreans, behind the Pakistanis. Even though Chikarin did win Korea Master. Yeah, he won the Korea Master, right? So, I mean, they were still there, but the rest of the Japanese players, all the top players like Take, Nobi, you didn't feel like they shined throughout the tour. The Roma as well. And man, to be honest, when I saw the finals, I thought Nobi was going to win. He reminded me like of Tekken 6 Nobi. Like, I said, this guy's back, man.
In the group stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
I missed that. That was at like silly times o'clock. For us,
yeah.
4-0 in that group, man. He looked unstoppable, man. It was crazy. Nobi, definitely looked like he was going to take the whole thing. But Japan in general, the reason why they've been doing so well, it has to be down to the training sessions these guys are doing. They're doing offline training sessions, man. And Korea doesn't have that. Korea, I've been there. The arcades were completely empty. Everyone plays online now. And it's just not the same environment, even though their online is completely crazy. Like it's like it's offline, right? But it's not the same environment. And now we're seeing more and more they're doing more offline sessions. I even saw yesterday or 2 days ago, CBM, Lohai, Ulsan, all these guys met up at the El Juego venue in Hongdae, and they were just playing. So that's what they need to do more. That's what Japan does with the Red Bull Gaming Sphere and other stuff. They have a lot of offline sessions and exhibitions.
Yeah, and they have these kumite as well, where Lohai flies out, Rank 2 flies out, and they have these kumites going on.
Yes.
And it's really good, man. Good things happening out there.
For sure. All right, so those were our highlights of.
Actually, I got one highlight. Actually, this is a personal one that I just remember.
Yeah.
This people didn't see this, but it's off stream when Rukang actually beat Nobi. Like, I think that was one of my highlights because obviously I've known Mario for so many years, innit? It was actually kind of emotional actually watching, like, from we started out playing Tekken. I was the one to see him first play Tekken to come.
This was in Dubai. This was in Dubai.
It was off stream, yeah. So imagine he started playing Tekken because of me, and I'm watching him grow to beat Nobi, and I popped up more than anyone. Like I popped up more than Mario. Like, I was like,
even though you keep saying to him, "You're not my friend."
He's not my friend. Though. He doesn't even. That's what I'm saying. He's too Hollywood for me. He doesn't even invite me to his sessions. He took all the knowledge and just ran away, bro. He's like, yeah. Fuck you, man. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because both of you went to the same university, and that's where you started playing
Tekken. Went to arcades together, fucking everything, and then seeing him beat Nobi, I was just like, mind blown.
Yeah, it's incredible. Shout outs to Mario, man, and the guy's got the best attitude I've seen, man. He's definitely gonna grow and hope.
Yeah, man. One of maybe the kindest player, the best-hearted player in the community.
Yeah, but he doesn't play like it though.
Easily, man. Yeah. Why is that, man? It's so weird. Like, this guy's so nice, but he'll hell sweep me 8 times in a row.
He's not nice in game, man. I'll tell you that much.
You got a few of them, man. You got a few of them.
All right,
Mario, Senior Fafalo. This guy.
Got disrespectful EU players, man. All of us playing like that season 2, season 1 Katarina, man. Like, it just is what it is, man. But yeah, I want to move on to the positives now. Let's. This is the main crux of what we want to talk about now. We're going to analyze the Tekken World Tour 2019, right? And we're going to go through the positives first. So my number one positive this year is a clear one. Representation around the world. The diversity of Tekken this year has been absolutely insane. I think someone was able to dig up a stat that we had 36 countries represented in this world tour, man. We saw a country like Egypt, we saw
Crazy.
Jordan, we saw Iran, Africa, you know, the Ivory Coast. We saw so many countries, you know, that were doing bits in the world tour. Pakistan is a big one, of course. India, like there's so many countries. The representation of this game, I think, is very unique to Tekken that we haven't really seen in other games.
Yeah, and it was actually amazing. Like even going when I was in Dubai, that's the first time I've actually been out to the Middle East and actually just meeting so many new players. And it was kind of like a very humbling experience as well. Like meeting so many people, they knew who I was speaking with them, so welcoming. It's really amazing. It's crazy how this game has really gone global.
Yeah, and I felt like it always was global. It's just it required the right ecosystem for a good game and a good support system for it to be able to shine and kind of expose itself in the right way. And I think it did, and especially with Tekken World Tour this year with the official. So last year when we did this podcast, we literally, me and Adnan, we both spoke about let's do a master event in Dubai. I think we should have one. It's on my channel. We both spoke about it. We really want a master in Dubai, and Twitch and Namco, they listened and they said, okay, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And it was, you know, it was really good to go out there. You know, Dubai, Africa. We even had a tournament in Greece this year as well, which is very good. The Greek scene's always been very passionate. Argentina, I think, was a tournament this year, and it was very, very diverse, officially speaking. You know, of course, we can also speak about. I think this is the biggest thing. The biggest thing of this year was the dojo system, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
So if you guys are not aware what the dojo system is, it was dojo system being a new category of tournament, which basically any organizer can run once per month, which allows you, depending on how many people enter your tournament, up to 96 people, 96 being the max after the cutoff, you get 100 points for winning. It's like almost the same as a challenger, man. It was crazy. And I think that fixed so many problems, because you now have the ability for people to get more numbers at their local events. You get the ability for countries that you know that complained about not being able to have a Tekken World Tour event. Now it's on the onus is on them. So if a country like Russia, for example, be like, why haven't we got a Tekken event? Well, now you can do a Tekken event, innit? Like you can, it's up to you. Get out there, do a Tekken World Tour event, and that's why we were able to do, you know, the Pakistan Takraw Cup. It was a 96 plus dojo, and you know, gave these people like Atif Butt a really good chance to get into the World Tour. I think the dojo system is amazing, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bubsy.
It definitely was amazing. I felt it done more than just give people opportunity. I really felt it bonded people. It made these guys actually come out to their locals. Me and Hassan, we done our thing as well, and we had so many people come down, and it just, I don't know, it just gave like a different kind of feeling that everyone was bonded, everyone was together, everyone's working like as a community for a greater cause. And I thought it was amazing to see that everyone kind of showed out in the UK. He was able to do one in Pakistan as well, and it really like just bonded these communities, I felt.
Yeah.
So what some people have been kind of debating over that I've seen is like the weighting scale of the dojo system. I've seen some people debating like whether they think it's too much, but I don't know. I'd have to look at the top 19, like the results more closely. But from what I can see, it almost seems like the weighting was perfect. Like nobody is just getting in on dojos. Like it's enough to make an impact, but you always have to have some presence at like a master event or like be winning some challenger. It seems like they got the balance almost perfect in like energizing these more like regional, like local communities, and not like just blowing up the tour with like oversaturation of points. So I thought it was like almost perfect.
No, 100%, because I think Aston this year, he got points from dojos and challengers, and because there was a cutoff point, obviously, so you couldn't like just infinitely get dojo points, infinitely get challenger points. So it did make the scaling, I think, really, really well, because people had to kind of place in all of them.
It's interesting because Arslan spoke to me about this, and he said there's way too many points for dojo events. Now, where you say that it's really well balanced, I can see that. I can see that it is balanced. But his argument was that the tournament organization the ability to run these big tournaments, it really relies on people like TOs to be able to do that. Like obviously, we were fortunate in the UK to have Logan do some really big events. Shouts to Logan. And the NLBC guys, Helst, very, very lucky to have him because he was the first person to run a 96 plus dojo, and he did multiple of them. And if you don't have these guys that are capable of doing that, or the numbers to get the people, then I feel like dojos can sometimes be a little bit disproportionate. Like you think about it, how many months did Kudans and JDCR live in the United States just to farm dojo points? I mean, I feel like Kudans basically just lived in the West Coast for like 3-4 months just to get them points, and JDCR as well. And I know JDCR obviously did perform elsewhere too, but I don't know. I think that I don't know. I don't know if it's too many points. I don't know if 100 is too many points for a dojo point.
I mean, maybe they could just do the top 3 dojos instead of the top 4, but I think almost by design they want them to have that impact on communities that are big and active, because like you're saying, like you need some TO that's going to take on that responsibility. I think they want to incentivize people to do that because that's what like gets scenes growing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. And there's also the the issue of fraud as well. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. Yeah, early on in the World Tour, I got shown a bracket from the Philippines. Now let me talk about this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Rev Major had about close to 200 people signing up for this, right? But you got another Philippines tournament, which is the dojo event, which had double the entrance, or like close to double the entrance. And I'm like, wait, hang on. So your big major is gonna have 190 people, but your dojo event that took place months before had like 300. And then you look at the bracket, and over half of them are DQ'd.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Like I was actually laughing.
They weren't regulating it well enough, which kind of makes sense to me because it's the first time they're doing it. It was definitely like Wild West. So yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
And it wasn't just this one. It was I can't recall now. I heard a story from someone recently. Maybe it was a tournament in Asia, Korea, somewhere, I don't know. But it was a 96 plus dojo, and the venue couldn't hold 96 people. It was impossible to hold 96. So it was, again, there were people signed up who, they I don't know, maybe the fake people. This potential for fraud is really big. So it needs to be regulated better.
Yeah, I'm actually. No, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think Rick mentioned like how many dojos were there this year? Like 1,500 or something. Was it something like that?
Wow, really?
I don't know. The number was ridiculous, man. And so the problem is keeping up with the reviews of those dojos. So that's the main issue here, right? Like, so you have this thing happening in the Philippines with the DQs and stuff. Like, but if you're not like paying attention to it, like if there's like too much delay before you go reviewing it, and it has too much a bigger impact on the leaderboards. So that's the main issue, right? So maybe if you decide to keep the dojo and maybe have more people dedicated, maybe get a review faster, it's a learning experience.
The lucky thing for us is that we have a year of having done this, and I don't think it was a problem. I don't think fraud was really, there wasn't any fraud which ended up affecting the leaderboard in a dramatic way.
I think the only thing that I remember was the only big problem is that at the beginning, no one really knew how many points I had because the leaderboard was messed up. So no one really knew where they stood. I know people are doing their own leaderboards at the side, but there's nothing like official where people actually knew, okay, this is where I stand.
Yeah.
Well, what's kind of, it's hard to say, actually, I think, how much impact it has, because I know for a fact there were dojos where a whole bunch of people register. A whole bunch of them do not show up. They get DQ'd, and then the event is still counted for however many people registered. And I know I went to a dojo in California where it was somewhere in like the 80s for registrants. So it was like
64 plus.
64 plus. A whole bunch of people didn't show up, so DQs everywhere. And at the conclusion, I was still granted points for a 64 plus. However, I see Halst in the chat, he's talking about I clean my brackets before dojo. So I went to a dojo in New York City where the pre-register was like 108 or something like that, and then for all the people that didn't show up and pay the registration, he cut them out of the bracket, so it ended up being like, I don't know, 88 or something like that. So it didn't get 96 plus.
Right.
And so House is saying I clean my brackets. He didn't have to do that actually. If he hadn't cleaned the bracket, that would have been a 96 plus dojo and it would have been counted as a 96 plus dojo.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that like TOs have all of this power, like to either inflate numbers or keep them honest.
Yeah.
And it's not being regulated. So with how many dojos there are, like some weird stuff could have been going on that we just don't even.
100%. No, I know for a fact that there was something weird that happened, but I'm not gonna call it out. I now remember which one it was, and who ran it. But there was a very dodgy dojo that happened where someone was awarded 100 points when it was not a 96 plus dojo. So I know that there have been cases like this, and although it didn't have any bearing on the world tour this year, from just by looking at it outwardly, like you said, it actually, we don't know how much it could have. Maybe it did. Maybe I don't know. I'm just say, for example, Shadow, because he qualified, right? I don't know, but he maybe won a couple dojos which didn't have 96 plus people, but he got 100 points for. We don't know, and we also don't know if next year, if this happens again, if we're gonna have something being even more dodgy.
Just more exploitation of the system. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, I think what do you guys think could be done about that? Like I like the suggestion of just having 3 dojos instead of 4. I mean, at least it cuts down the potential of having, this crazy fraud.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I like the suggestion of having 3 as well. Like it's gonna make the workload so much less as well, and maybe have some people actually dedicated. Some moderators because it seems to me like it's just Rick and mostly him, and then sometimes some people help him doing it. But actually hire some people actually dedicated, because there's so many points at stake here, and dojos make so much difference. So. Yeah, maybe hire a man or two to actually regulate.
I was thinking about that maybe hire someone for each of the regions actually to kind of police bracket, like kind of shift the workload to people, but obviously don't have like someone take care of everything. So
exactly.
But there's actually nothing you can do about this situation where 100 people sign up, then 20 people drop out. And then because on the bracket, if you're checking it, it looks all right, unless
how are you gonna
unless you don't do pay on site, and then pay on Smash before registering, something like
I don't know,
that doesn't work, bro, because we done pay before people. People, fuck
but
it.
If people did, it would work.
No, I would have like Marco in it. Man signed up, and then like 2 hours later, he was like, I can't come. Bro, you just wait, fam. He's like, I didn't know I would have work, but I just wanted to sign up. I was like, you're not doing that.
It's really so hard to regulate, because there's no way that you can stop a TO from taking a DQ'd person and just marking the match as a 2-0 instead. And then some outside party has no way of knowing, like, did that person actually participate in this tournament? Were they not there? Like, it's so easily exploitable.
Yeah, it is.
It is. But at the end of the day, it's a system that we need to keep. We 100%. This has been so positive for the tour, and it's revolutionary. It's literally revolutionary. Every tour should be implementing something like this, because it gets like Bubsy said, it brings everyone together. It makes people, motivated to make tournaments and locals, and it also, one thing that Rick was telling me before this dojo system got implemented, when he was talking to me about his idea, was that he just wanted top players to go to their locals, man. You'll never see someone like Justin Wong, which is what he was saying, Justin Wong and these guys and other like Jimmy J Trans and stuff kind of go to their locals, but then but when you have points on the line and you kind of have to sometimes, then it's awesome to have that, where these top players can go, like Asim, I'll tell you right now, that guy would not go to his local tournaments, man. If points were not on the line, this guy doesn't give a shit. He'll just be like, how much money is there? Like, I don't know, like a 50 quid. I ain't going. Like, it's just simple as that. This guy wants the money, innit? But if points are on the line, he'll be there, and he's gonna really overall it'll bolster up the scenes, innit? So the dojo system was absolutely amazing. I want to see it next year. I think maybe let's think about how many dojo tournaments you can get points for. Maybe 3 instead of 4. Maybe 4 is too much, because and I think that would be a good balance. Then it would cut down the sort of not the importance, but the significance, or if there is any fraud, and just in general, I think that's a good change. I think 4 may be a bit too much. 400 points. 400 points when you think about some people who they qualified with like 600, right? So like, or even less than 600. Like, I think number
596. 596 was the cutoff.
596. So that's literally second place at Master and 4 dojos.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you need. And
so 3 dojos or less points, either one of those.
Yeah, three dojos. I think not less points, but let's have three dojos. Keep the points 100 because 100 points sounds cool, But yeah, dojo system has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. All bad things aside, man. All bad things aside, right? Like, but shout outs to Rick the Hardo for making it. A genius.
That must have been so much work, man. And
yeah,
it worked out really well.
But what a genius move, man. And you know, like Hassan, you mentioned, like the rising of these communities, Ivory Coast, African communities.
Yes.
Even mine, bro. We have a small scene in Denmark. I didn't think we would get like a tier 2 dojo. I think we were like a tier 1.
You got 80 plus entrants, right, for your Copenhagen events?
Yeah, at once we got 80. And like Danish players all over the country just came and supported the events. Like, it was amazing, man. So the dojo, amazing concept.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we and Bubsy can definitely talk about it from the London perspective as well. We just constantly got over 100 people. The first time we did it, we shared the venue with Dragon Ball, and then Logan quickly said, "All right, this is gonna have to change now. We're gonna have to do Dragon Ball and Street Fighter one day. Tekken has to have its own day, man. This is too big. We've got too many people signing up. We got 120 people for one of them as well, and it's crazy, man. I hope to see the dojo system back next year."
Last but not least, man, this is important. Shout outs to all the local TOs in every country, man. They've been doing so much work. I see Hells in the chat. How much does he do?
Shout out to Hells, man.
Shout outs to Hells, man. I want to give a shout out to the Danish guys, Casper and Morten.
Casper.
Yeah, Casper. And Morten.
Yeah,
Morten is the guy, he's been the driving force behind that, So all the local TOs, man.
Everyone.
Good job,
Shout out to you guys, man. Good stuff. But yeah, on this similar topic, we want to talk about what do you guys think about this system? The top performances, your top 3 performances for Masters and Challenges counting only, instead of being able to fly all around the world and collect points, like from getting a few top 16s here and there, a couple top 8s. What do you guys think about that? Do you like that? I think it's good because it makes sponsors a little less impactful, because you had situations where, like, for example, UYU, they were sending some players all around, like, everywhere, and you just collect points. I think if John Ding had that, if the old system was in effect, John Ding probably would have qualified because he went to every single tournament. But when it's only your top 3 performances that count, it makes it's sort of quality over quantity, which I kind of like. What do you guys think?
Oh, it's way better. Way better. Yeah. For one, like you said, I mean, it really balances the advantage of being able to travel everywhere, which is the way the first 2 tours were.
Yep.
And I don't know how one could really make an argument like, well, I'd rather somebody just give 15 average performances and get in instead of, make a mark with 3 great performances. Like, we should be rewarding results and performance. It's just I think it's much better this way.
Yeah. Adnan, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with the same thing. Result and performances, like it should definitely be awarded, man. Like, if you're dedicating time, you're dedicating your training, you've been practicing, and the results are paying off, and they should also be paid off in form of points as well, and they should count towards the end. So I agree with that.
Agreed. Bubsy, you on the same page?
I'm unanimous. Yeah, and it kind of stops gatekeeping a bit as well. So
right.
It's good.
Yeah, it's definitely good, man, and I think it definitely had an impact this season. So I like it. I like the changes that they made, and they made some those were significant changes, and they definitely worked out for the better. Moving on.
Wait. To compare it to the first season, right? It's funny you said about the gatekeeping, because a lot of people, they were not happy. Man, they were like,
JDCR saying, bruv, they were everywhere. They were like, "Fuck you, you guys, no points."
Flying out everywhere, and so basically, even Anakin as well. Like, like JDCR, and it was always the same grand final, and the first and second place points always got they went to waste.
They get thrown in a void.
Thrown in a void.
Be honest,
weird.
Be honest. How boring was it just seeing Saint and JDCR that first season, always in grand final? There was one time I forgot which one it was. I just turned it off. I'm like, I can't bother to watch this again. Fucking.
The first few times, yeah, sure, it was cool, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That the first season BSF, I fell asleep to the grand final.
I had to commentate that shit. Me and Bubsy had to commentate that shit, man.
Yeah.
It was actually a good set, though. It was a good set. The reset was hype, and blah, blah, blah. But
that's when he dropped the winning. He done Cossack kicks.
He did, down back 3 in it, or is it down back 3? I don't know, the little Russian kicks thing.
Yeah.
That smelled a bit like pina colada, man. I don't know, but who knows, innit?
I forgot about that shit, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Anyway,
there was a lot of drama over that. There was like Twitter drama, like, how fucking dare you say pina colada?
There was that guy from Echo Fox who's like, how dare you? How dare you? My players are really honest. It's like, I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up, dude.
I didn't even know any of that actually happened.
Yeah, one of the managers for Echo Fox went ham on Aris, innit? Because Aris was like saying pina colada, and he was like, how fucking dare you? How dare you say that to my player, man? Aris was like, what the fuck? He's just sitting there in his green room, innit? Man just sitting there in his green room chilling, innit? He's like, why all this heat? Look, I changed my room to green, innit? I'm Aris now, innit? He's like, what the fuck? Like,
You got a mood light.
Yeah, I got this coloured lights, innit? It's kind of set about disco. All sorts, man. It's sick. It's sick, man. Got the little remote control and that. It's mad. But yeah, moving on. I think it's really good also that compared to, for example, like Capcom Cup, right? We actually, our finals actually moved. So we started off in America. We went to Europe in Amsterdam, and then we finally went to Thailand. I think 2020 they've already announced that it's going to be back in America. Whether that means it's going to be South America, North America, or Canada, I don't know what. Like, it'll be in that region, which I think is really cool. Yeah.
He said like Central or South America, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Where would you want it to happen?
No. He said North, Central, or South. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay, all right.
Okay,
yeah,
basically
it's because it's B and EA who stands for the operation now. So it's Bandai Namco Entertainment America. So it could be anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that I really like. I think it's definitely really good because it gives a lot of people an opportunity around the world to experience these big events. And I think, personally speaking, when we did the Amsterdam finals, it was the biggest event we've ever had. It was 300 people signed up for the LCQ, and a lot of those people, they came to me and they said to me, hey Spag, it's my first time ever coming to an event. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And I saw those same people then travel the subsequent year to versus fighting and other events in the UK and around Europe. So overall, our numbers have gone up just from having that finals there, because it's given people the confidence to know that I'm not just going for a tournament, I'm going for a show. There is a tournament happening, which I might as well enter, but I'm really just going there to watch the finals and enjoy myself for the show. And then when they saw how it was offline, when they experienced, the offline community and everything, they said, "Hey, man, this is quite sick, man. Let me go to other events as well. And that's how it literally was. I met people who were at the Amsterdam finals for the first time. I saw them at other events, and the numbers for Tekken have just been going up and up. And Evo is a great example of that. Looking at how it's just constantly grown. Tekken is right now. Has so much momentum, and I think it's down to all these little decisions that they're making, which I think are really good.
Is Capcom Cup always in Los Angeles, like every year?
Always in America, man. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
This year they had Red Bull Kumite in Japan, which is different.
Yeah.
But apart from, that's not really part of the Capcom Pro Tour. So,
Capcom's they're starting to do their next year's one's in Paris. So.
Wait, Capcom?
Capcom
Or is that Dragon Ball?
in Paris. No, Dragon Ball's in Dragon Ball as well. Is Dragon Ball?
Oh, so both of them in Paris.
Both of them. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's pretty sick, man. That's good from them to be going. But I like that. We went America, we've gone to Europe.
That was funny, man. It was funny because they keep saying like how people, they say Paris food is so shit, and then they move to finals.
Yeah. Paris food is shit, man. You know, Kokomo got the shits in Paris. He thought, okay, Kokomo thought if he can eat Korean food in Paris, he'd be safe. Bruv, he wasn't safe. That's the last thing you do. If any of you guys in the chat are watching on YouTube, if you go to Paris, do not eat Asian food, man, unless you know that it's safe, because Kokomo got the shits. Tishimon almost did as well. He was in a state. Remember, Bubsy, when we were commentating UFA?
No, I remember.
Kokomo
looked like he was gonna pass out. he literally looked like he was flushed. He looked like he was about to KO in real life.
Really, like he was dying. It was crazy, man. I felt like scared for him almost. That's how bad it is. But that's what you get for coming to Paris and eating fucking Korean food, bro. Like, come on, eat a baguette or something, man. That's safe, you know. Some Algerian sauce.
Yeah,
I still got Algerian sauce, you know, in my fridge.
It's because you bought like 5 bottles.
I've stocked up so much Algerian sauce.
We need to give Joey Algerian sauce. I don't think Joey's had Algerian sauce before. He doesn't even know what it is. Look how confused he looks. Trust me, Algerian sauce. When he comes to Europe, next time we're gonna show him the Algerians, isn't it?
I think Joey, he had a lot of kebabs. Enough kebabs in Euros, man.
He had kebabs, isn't it?
For every meal. The whole time, dude.
That's the European Tekken tournament food, isn't it? Or just FGC food, just kebab.
Like, I'm hungry, bro. He's like, okay, we'll get you some kebabs. Come on. follow me, bro.
Yeah, but next time we'll change it up. We'll add some Algerian sauce in it, innit? Next level.
I wanna move on just for a quick one. Obviously, man, the prize pool was a lot better this year. You're not gonna just win $7,500 from winning the whole fucking world tour and making upsets. You're gonna. Rangchi must be so pissed, man. Looking at that, like he must be so annoyed. But you know, the winner of the world tour now, Chikurin, getting over 70,000, which is definitely a good reward for the hard work that he's put in. Shout outs to Astro, so check it out, man. Astro C40, get yourselves one of these. Shield mode right here, best controller on the market. C40 Astro. But yeah, they did a great job, man, adding 100,000 to the prize pool, and then right last minute play KOF All Star adding another 50k. So shout outs to both of them to add it to an overall 250,000, which is actually what it originally was in season 1. I don't know if you guys know. Season 1 World Tour was actually originally 250,000, and it got reduced to 50,000 somehow. And no one really spoke about it because it kind of happened out of nowhere. Me and Bubsy were speaking about it. Like, it was just...
You should have kept that under the carpet, bro.
Nah, I ain't talking. No, we need to talk about it, man. Look, if you're gonna announce money, man, keep that money there, bro. That's some dodginess, man. But 250k this time, I'm happy. I think it's good. You know, it's not really. I mean, Capcom, I think the winner gets 250,000, right? So it's not quite there yet, but you know, we're growing, and I hope that they can get more sponsors next year, man, and we can add more.
I'm just happy we got another world tour next season, man, because a lot of people were wondering, is there going to be another tour? But yeah, 2020, man, let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely good from the side of that. I also want to say that a really good thing is that we actually streamed the LCQ. I know it's not so common in the fighting games nowadays, but we actually streamed the LCQ. Amazing. And the reason for that is because we actually had people streaming who they're actually in the FGC. You know, I feel that's very important. I don't know if you guys.
Messy
I don't know if you guys watched the Capcom. Did you guys watch?
You couldn't. No, you couldn't, bro. I remember going home. I was speaking to someone. I was like, "Yeah, Friday, Capcom Cups on. Watch the LCQ. LCQ's mad hype." And then I was just getting. Wasn't I on talking with you, Adnan? And I was just like,
"Yeah,
playing COD." And I was like,
we were playing. Yeah.
Where's this LCQ? And I was like, "Nah, it's not on." Damn, that was fucked up.
That LCQ, I can't believe they didn't see it. Did you see the clip of that guy falling over, bro? He had a camera, he just fell down on his ass. You don't see that?
Yeah, no, I saw the thing where he
if someone can find a clip, please find a clip, man, on Twitch.
I think if he Jammers is going on this Twitter.
He just fell on his ass, man. That was a complete shambles, man. Look, I feel like, you know, I gotta give a shout out to Tenno because they always do such a great job, and you know, they did a really good job in the Tekken finals, as they always do. They always do a good job. You know, just I don't know, if you want real passionate production that can be done the right way, people who know the community, then you gotta go with people in the community, man. You can't just like source it to some random people who are gonna call like Problem X a Korean, you know, like that kind of stuff is whack, man.
Oh my gosh, did you see? I think I mentioned this to you, Spag. The highlights, even when the show closed out, you see they get clips of highlights. One of the highlight clips was someone pressing the share button, and that was one of the exit. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why have you got this in your exit highlight? Just the share button and then the share screen. I was like, what the hell? I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shambles, man. Definitely a shambles. But I mean, yeah, Tekken really at the moment showing how to do things, man. If you wanna, if you copy them, then you'll have a good world tour. Hopefully, other people can copy what they've been able to do this year. I want to end with the positives by just saying, shouts to all the new sponsors. You've got Genuine Gaming, Equinox as well, all these guys, Fate Esports, and many, many, many more. There's the new sponsors like Illusion and all these guys that have come onto the scene and allowing these players to travel. Rox Dragons did a good job as well with Joey saying that iMusician, someone that he's always wanted to see. Puma as well, who we haven't seen much of. He's traveling now because of Rox Dragons. So it's really good to see these new sponsors come in and supporting players. And I hope that more sponsors can come next year to support more of these players as well. We have so many that are unsponsored that are super good that I'd love to see. So
and Tekken players joining the ranks of Red Bull as well. That's also very
Arslan, man. The guy was on the cover of Billboard magazine, bruv. Like, this guy is famous now. I went to the airport when I was flying back from Dubai to Dubai to London, and the guy was asking, "Oh, what do you do, man? Like, because you got all this luggage with you. Like, what do you guys do?" I said, we're Tekken production, and I'm a commentator." He goes, "Oh, you must know Arslan then, right?" And I was like, "Shit, man, dude at the fucking
crazy.
The dude behind the counter. He knew Arslan."
They've been covering him on main TV channels. It's crazy.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like Joey, like CNN and all these big news channels, the equivalent of that in Pakistan, they've been covering him. And then you got the cricket. Yeah. Cricket is the biggest sport in Pakistan, and all like main cricket players, legends of cricket, have been tweeting at Arslan saying congratulations. The Prime Minister's ex-wife also added him saying, "Well done, my dear." Blah blah blah. It's crazy how much he's blown up, man. It's really good to see. But he's a humble guy. I believe he is going to. Oh shit, K-Wiz, thanks for the host, man. I believe he is going to New York. KIT, yes. So he's gonna be at New York for health session in.
He'll be there and KIT. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should, if you're in the area, message Health. He's in the chat right now. He's the organizer of that. So if you want to play Arslan, meet him, get some games in, then you can go to Brooklyn and play against him, or you can go to KIT. He's going to be there for the tournament as well. Yes, I want to move on. Is there anything else, by the way? Because that's my list of positives for this world tour. Before we move on to the negatives and things that could have been done better, like, do you guys have any more positives about it? We talked about the representation, diversity. We talked about the prize pool, the different countries, the dojo system. We talked about the performance changes for the top three. We talked about the more money, the sponsors, the finals moving around. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? How good this world tour was?
They got rid of online.
Oh yes, I like that. I like that. They got rid of the online tournament.
Oh,
that's
what kept me in the finals, man. I need that shit. I'm an online warrior, dude. I'm a two-time TWT online champion.
Shit, 2-time? 2 years in a row? Oh shit, man. Joey's not gonna like that, boy.
Joey's an online warrior. He's an online warrior.
I'm such an online warrior. It's unbelievable.
Shit,
online legend.
Joey Fury, online legend, man. So that's a negative for him.
That's true, man. I'm better online than offline.
I don't know why. It feels like this season had online tournaments. They were probably last season.
Bro.
No, time flies, man. Time flies.
They got rid of that shit. I remember the first year of the first year of the world tour. Me and Bubsy, pretty much our first commentary job on the world tour. This is when I'm a newbie. Bubsy's been doing it for a while now, but I'm a newbie to like this official shit. Yeah, we have to commentate Xbox 3, like what is it? Xbox 360, Xbox One, Tekken 7. Online European East Grand Finals. I'll tell you right now, it's on the fucking archive. You can go watch it. It's still archived. It was an Austrian green rank Law versus a Steve player. They were both green rank. Man was doing Dragon Tail. What did he do? Down 4-2 to Dragon Tail as a combo or something like that?
No, he wasn't even doing that. And the other guy thought Nostalgia was a joke. That was like, I don't like calling people trash, but fucking hell.
Oh, those were the days, man.
Bro, it was absolutely so amazing.
Bro, that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was just organizing in the Discord, man. It was fucking horrible, bro. It was like players not responding, not showing up, and the people talking trash in there, and people cheating, and it was crazy, man.
Those tournaments take forever too.
They do, yeah.
Because you got like 4 people in the lobby, and then you got to go back after every match.
Yeah.
PS4 takes like a day to load one game. And
It was so crazy. Oh yeah, and then Bubsy versus Super Akuma. The first time these guys had a beef, it was because of the online tournament. Is where they were just chatting shit about each other's connection. Like, your connection's shit, nah, it's your connection shit. And then they were like, oh yeah.
Akuma, so Super Kuma, Tishaman, and them, they were at the tournament in Marseille, right?
Yeah.
So and apparently the venue has a shit connection. And then they just started off from there. I believe backseat that the connection was shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they were at a tournament and they asked if they're allowed to play the online tournament at an offline tournament, so they had it set up for the online, and the connection was so bad. So you think about it, Marseille connection to Spanish connection, that is AIDS. That is pure. That is pure unfiltered AIDS, man. I can't even think about how bad that would be. And he has to play against Akuma.
There's like Swedish fermented fish and surströmming.
That's surströmming, bro. That's a surströmming connection. Fuck that.
Surströmming connection.
But it was so entertaining because they were posting so much pristine shit talk to each other, posting pics and all sorts. Like Bubsy will post like a selfie of him, like swearing at him, and then Super Akuma posts a selfie of his face and shit. That was sick. But that's how that beef started. If you guys don't know, the online tournament not there anymore. I mean,
that's fine.
I think it's fine. I mean, from what I heard, they said that the online is just not. It's not developed enough. It's not developed enough to be able to accommodate for such a tournament.
Stretch.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Online shit. Let's just say how it is.
Pure shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna even. I'm not fronting. Like, it is shit. I've been streaming again for the past few days, and I just hate it because I've been playing. When I travel to events, I don't really play much, but you know, when I do, it's always offline, right? And I was used to that sort of offline time, and then I go to online and I try to whiff punish Jin Electric, and it's just which will not happen. I can't do it. It's just not.
And the funny thing is, you play on PC, so I mean, it should be better on PC.
Yeah, it's not, man. I mean, it really isn't, and I feel like PS4 when you have two guys from the same region who have wide connections and good connections, like, you know, when me and Asim play, when me and you play, I feel that's a lot better than PC. I don't, for some reason, I just like, if you're playing ranked on PC, if you know there's so many people with really bad connection. Yesterday I was playing a Gun Replay. I'm not sure where he's from. He was in the chat. I asked him where he's from. He never replied. But that was a 3-bar connection, man, and that's PC, you know. So I guess some people just have Wi-Fi. They don't. I don't know. It's weird. Online shit, man. So I'm happy with that. That's a positive for sure. Anything else that you guys want to talk about just quickly before we move on? For positives, no. It's been a good year. It's been a very, very good year. Positives are good, but unfortunately there are negatives to the World Tour this year, and one of them that is personal to the European region that I want to talk about, and I wanted to talk about for a long time. And I know Asim was in the chat earlier, just, you know, cap locks on. Man had the cap locks on. He's pissed. Look, Europe, and usually this is how it works. Every region, Asia, America, Europe, will have one outlier event. An outlier meaning a tournament that is a little bit further away from the region. Like, for example, North America will have the outlier in South America. Asia will have their outlier in Australia. Europe this year had not only one outlier, had 2 outliers. Yes, we had Dubai, which was meant to be our outlier because it's in that, you know, Middle East region.
And Cape Town. Who the fuck is going to go Cape Town? Like, that's literally, so far. That is
a challenger event that was so vital to the European standings. If you look at the standings now, there were 3 players, Kane, Kuiper, and Asim, that was sitting right outside of top 20. And I feel like if they had that extra challenger event, then it would have been potential for them to qualify. I feel
Asim would have qualified. Asim would have straight up qualified.
If Asim went to South Africa, there was no doubt in my mind he would have won that tournament and he would have qualified.
So. But it's going to sound crazy. Who actually won that tournament?
I don't know. I actually don't know. It
was the local player. Yeah.
I actually have it on here. I can put it on. But yeah, I feel like it's so unfair on his part that, you know, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Is this it?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at the points, and a win at Cape Town, or even like a second place for Kane and Trench, right?
Yeah. And you know, Kane is super consistent as well. So, Fricky won it. So Fricky actually met him in Thailand. He's a Thailand player. He hosted locals when we were there. I went to his house when I was in Thailand at like 5 a.m. It was crazy. So he won the tournament from Thailand.
So was he like the only foreign player in South Africa?
I think so. I think Book was meant to go, but he didn't go, and he ended up winning. So, shout out to Fricky, man.
Yeah, because Anakin was meant to go, Book was meant to go, Asim was meant to go, but none of them went. So.
Yeah. None of them went, and it's like this is the issue with South Africa, right? It costs £600 at least to go there. It's not cheap. The visa itself for Europeans, because Asim is Pakistani, so for him it's cheaper. But for Europeans, it's £100 to get the visa. That's expensive, man. So overall, you're spending around £700 to go to this challenger event, and South Africa is known to be a very dangerous place. Cape Town, I know people from Cape Town. They are telling me it's extremely dangerous. If you don't know anyone from Cape Town, from Johannesburg, you're gonna have a tough time, and it's very, very dangerous in South Africa. And that's not just rumors. That's people from South Africa telling me.
What was that arcade stick?
Yeah, I've heard the same. Yeah.
So that's really the case. It actually is dangerous.
It is dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Because so it's not the case of like people saying, "Oh, Pakistan is dangerous," but when it's not, actually isn't. It's not dangerous at all.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We obviously love to see the Africa event, happening in South Africa. They have a good community, as you can see on screen right now. But for Europe, it's not fair. To have 2 outlier events, you're making it hard for them. We only had 3 challenger events, and your top 3 performances count, as we already mentioned. And so you basically have to perform at every single challenger. You don't get that one tournament where you have a little bit of an off day. You have to perform on all of your tournaments. It's very, very tough. I just don't think we should have had 2 outliers. And if we did, we should have had the extra challenger event probably at Celtic Throwdown again. My opinion that should have been the challenger event. And actually, when I had a talk, I found out the reasons why there wasn't an extra challenger. There was supposed to be, and it wasn't really. It was just really unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I feel like that needs to be fixed. That 100% needs to be fixed. We can't just have 3 challenger events in Europe. There have to be 4. And what do you guys think about that?
I agree, man. I agree, but then the problem is should these regions, like the African region, should it just lie empty? Should nothing be there? Then the local communities, where every time they have to travel to a Tekken World Tour challenge, they have to go out of the continent, to participate in it. Yeah, it's just there could be arguments on both sides, right? But I agree, man. If it belongs to the European, then it's too far away, man. It's way too far away.
Yeah. 2 outliers is too much.
Yeah, I think maybe something to even balance it out. Like you said, South Africa is Africa's a big continent, That's at the bottom. That's at the bottom. Maybe they should look into maybe North Africa, around there.
Morocco. There's a tournament happening in Morocco, run by CCL. Those guys could run a tournament in Morocco,
Even the Ivory Coast scene, I've seen a lot of that stuff on Twitter now.
Yes.
I started following those guys. They're really. I think Abu went there. Hurricane, Street Fighter player, went there to that scene.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're really passionate. They got a whole esports kind of organization there, and that's I don't know. I don't know the fucking details of how far it is, but I guess it's a lot more north than South Africa. But
yeah, at the end of the day, man, South Africa, it was good to see that scene, and to finally get Africa on the map. In that sense, Ivory Coast, like you said, makes a lot of sense, because that scene, from what I've seen, is crazy, man. I'm actually looking to go out there in 2020. That's a destination of mine that I want to go to. But we either way, wherever it is, man, just you can't give 2 outliers to a region, man. Nobody from Europe went there. And the last year before that, I said at the start of the year 2018 that nobody was going to go to Russia, and nobody went to Russia. The only person that tried to go was Joplix, but he couldn't get his passport back in time.
Yeah.
So nobody was there either. So it's there are these tournaments that Europeans will not go to, and that's just the logistics. It's just down to logistics, and it's just the truth of the matter, right? So Europe needs to have the extra event, I feel like.
They do, but it's very tough, man, because I feel like by removing South Africa, you're just punishing, the whole region, and not having any tournaments at all. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough, man. It's probably. I think that's gonna be one of the big things to solve here, what to do about these outliers.
I think regional balance is so important. They have to balance the numbers, but it seems to me like just because of the way the Tekken tournament scene is, the NA region is always going to benefit in some way because of Evo. Well, I guess with the exception of that year, it wasn't on the tour. But they obviously care a lot about making Evo this like central point in the tour, like huge points. And it's always just going to be easier for North Americans to access that event. So that's kind of a hard one to deal with. But yeah, in terms of number of events in the region, and I think like travel distance, they should try to like average it out as best as they can. I don't think there's really anything they can do like, oh, this is going to be expensive for people to get the visa to this place, like that's too much. But just the way that they're spacing out events, I think they could take a little more consideration into balancing it.
Well, what I think is that now that you have the dojo system, you know, the sort of the importance of giving certain countries an official challenger or master is not there anymore. Like I feel like, you know, Russia, for example, could run, you know, they got taken off the world tour in 2019, but they could easily have just run a really big dojo event.
Right.
And it's like, you know, South Africa similarly as well. Like we don't want to punish the region, but you know, those guys could easily have this tournament you're seeing on screen right now could have been a dojo event, and it could have been 96 plus, and they could have had an equally good tournament there. You know, because challenger events are still community events which are not officially supported by like they're officially supported by Twitch, but they don't have to be streamed on the Tekken channel. They have the control to get whatever sponsors they want. They have all control. So I mean, it's basically the same as a dojo in a sense. It just has more points. So South Africa could have been a big dojo event and promoted as that, you know, but give the challenger event to a region which is a bit easier to access. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to punish South Africa, for example. I think they're great. So I want to go there myself, but it's like. Specifically in this situation where there's two outliers, you got Dubai already. You already got Dubai, which is going to cost you £300-400 to go to, and but
Dubai is so easy to travel to than South Africa.
Of course, but it's still an outlier. It's not Europe.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So I feel like if you were going to have another event, it had to be somewhere like Morocco, where it's easy for Europeans to get to. Morocco is still Africa. It's North Africa, right? But it is somewhere easier to travel to. And I know personally, they tried to get Morocco, but they weren't able to. So again, it's not like I'm not gonna just sit here and say, hey, you should have done it in Morocco. They tried to and they couldn't. So you know, hopefully next year there won't be the situation, and I hope there's not the situation where we have two outliers. There should only be one, and everything else should be, you know, relatively easy for us to travel to, man. That's my opinion.
So considering they listened to us last year, where are we going next year, man?
Where we going next year? I want to go Morocco, man.
I want to go Turkey, man. Let's go
Turkey. Yo, the thing about Turkey, yeah. So for the reason why I love the dojo event system as well is because I'm able to go to places like Pakistan, for example, and put on these huge events where we can showcase the talent. I also want to do the same thing for like Turkey and Jordan and all these other places, Ivory Coast. That's why I love the dojo system. So yeah, I mean, we need to show that a country has the capability to get numbers and stuff before they get a challenger or a master. And I think Pakistan has showed that, for example. But
with Chakra Cup,
with Chakra Cup. But with Turkey, I mean, who knows, man? I know they have players. We all know they have players. But
I've seen some pictures and some matches. Like they have a lot of players.
Even Iran, you know, Iran has a hell of like players as well. They had like a 200-man tournament with a lot of female playing as well.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
200 plus. It was on YouTube, man. They had a lot of players at that Iran tournament. Problem is that you're always going to have that sort of political thing coming into it as well. I know IESF, for example, is happening in Israel now next year, and that means, you know, no Iranians are going there. You know, and there's also the problem as well. Like, I don't want to get too political, but you know, even Pakistan, Israelis actually can't travel to Pakistan, I believe. So it's kind of rough politically. Sometimes you need to think about the political side of things as well when you're making these decisions. But I think this is a pretty easy decision. If you're gonna have a European region, please keep it in fucking Europe, man. Like don't have two outliers, man. It's just it was such a problem, and we could have had more than one. We had one European in the finals this year. That's not on, man. And I think it was partly due to that point.
It's just we've had outliers for two seasons straight now, and I think it needs to stop, man.
Yeah. It needs to stop. Another thing I want to talk about is something that Joey you just spoke about briefly, the Master Plus system. What do you think about that with Evo? Do you agree? Do you think that it should have 600 points or whatever it is to win?
It's this is a hard one because I understand like I guess the motivation and maybe even the importance of having this monumental event every year. Like a lot of people be like, oh, it's like the fighting game Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
I understand all of the hype surrounding that, and when you put a bunch of points on the line at an event like that and you incentivize everyone to travel, it just elevates all the hype. And yeah, maybe the Tekken community really benefits from that. I'm not sure. I think, some people kind of have problems with Evo as an event. Like when they attend it, I mean, generally, like as a spectator, it's amazing. But I've been there 3 years in a row now, and I have like had some problems as a competitor there, I suppose. I don't know if you want me to go into them, but
you can go into you can say what you like, man.
It's the way that the event has like progressed over the years. It's very heavily run by volunteers throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
There's generally people I speak to, they have a lot of problems with the way brackets are run, the way things are organized when it funnels from like group stage 2 into the top 64.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 or 3 years in a row now, very chaotic. Like there's just all of this crowding, and like the bracket runners don't entirely seem to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Last year I was playing a very important match, and there was like no crowd control whatsoever. I was getting bumped into. People were obstructing my view while I was playing.
Wow.
I've got my buddies like pulling people out of my way, like as I'm like in the clutch, like fighting for my life at Evo against Dojin. It's just unacceptable. It's supposed to be the most prestigious event.
Yeah.
So I mean, this stuff isn't really like related to the Tekken World Tour. I guess I haven't thought about it too much. I think having it on the tour is important. Having the hype elevated by extra points, I think, might be important. So
yeah,
I think they should probably keep it the way it is, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because because Evo is, like you said, it's got the most entrants. It's such a massive commercial event. It's like you said, the Super Bowl of fighting games, the World Cup almost. It's yeah, I mean, it's a hard one as well, man, because I see both sides of it. Where Asim says, for example, other people, why the fuck are the Americans able to go down the road,
right?
And be able to compete for so many points,
for 600 points or 550 or whatever it is. Yeah,
it's just so unfair, man. Like you get these opportunities, but where's our masterclass?
But again, they did go down the road, but they didn't win it.
yeah, I know. But what if they did? Anakin could have easily won that. But for example,
I want to ask something like so. Do you think Evo is scared that if it's not a Master Plus that they're gonna lose entries?
No. They got entries even when they weren't on the Tekken World Tour.
Yeah, they weren't on the tour 1 year.
Yeah. So they don't need don't need that. So I feel like there are some tournaments that need the World Tour, and then there's some tournaments where the World Tour needs a tournament, right? And I feel like the tournament Evo is one of those where the World Tour needs Evo, sort of in a way.
I agree.
But what do you guys think about each region having a tournament that's a Master Plus?
Well, what can replicate Evo?
Nothing can replicate Evo's size, but at least it gives each.
Kind of had the regionals, right?
I mean, yeah, we had that. That's the whole point. The first year we had regionals where other than you won that regional in Paris, right? Where you got 300 points, where a normal master was 150. So, what do you guys think about having like a Master Plus for each region, even though Evo is clearly a harder tournament or the hardest?
Would it be region locked if he brought back?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Would you make
and Evo certainly couldn't be the NA regional because it would be so disproportionate, like in difficulty, probably to any other tournament.
Yeah, it would be and very, very international as well. So it's like it couldn't be a regional. But yeah, I mean, we have every region has a big tournament. Nothing's going to be as big as Evo, but just as far as sort of having the weighting be the same for each region. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, but which European major are you going to fit 2,000 people in, man?
No, not 2,000. Just basically have a Master Plus for each. Yes, it's a simple question. I'm just saying, should every region have a similar tournament?
So are you thinking like essentially mixing the system, so you have like the open world system, and then at one point you hybridize and you have a region lock tournament.
Yeah, that's one thing as well. Yeah, so I was asking just about the Master Plus, but actually what I wanted to say, which I was going to say later, but I might as well say now, is that maybe having a regional system where you can guarantee that some people region locked will get some points, like kind of a hybrid of the first year of the World Tour and sort of season 2, season 3, that could, guarantee that you get at least 2 or 3, players of a region in the World Tour. Otherwise, because otherwise, imagine Super Kuma didn't win the mix up, which could have easily happened because we had fucking Chikarin, Nii, all these guys, Lohai. It was stacked. We could have had 0 Europeans in the World Finals, which would have been disastrous.
Right.
I think personally, because Rick told me that he thought 4 Europeans would make it in 2018, and 3 qualified, and then Gulanda made it in. So he came up to me straight away. He's like, "Hey, Spag, 4 Europeans, man." I'm like, "Shit." I was like, "Hey, you're right," but I still thought in my head that we were quite lucky. I thought we were a little bit lucky with Fergus being able to travel everywhere, and you supporting him and him really clutching it out in many aspects in tournament. He could have easily not qualified. Gulanda as well. If he lost a double, he could not qualify. We would have had 2 that year. I mean, I just think it's too inconsistent right now. I thought that this year really showed that there needs to be something. A regional.
I think it could have easily been 2 Americans that same year though as well.
Yeah,
I was kind of on the cusp for most of that year.
So do you think that a regional would help?
Jimmy barely made it, and it could have been 1 American actually.
Shit, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about having a regional that could help.
What about if they do something how Capcom do it? But even though it's confusing the way Capcom do it, but there's like kind of like 2 leaderboards. There's like a global leaderboard, and then there's a regional leaderboard. So maybe someone from that regional leaderboard, so there's always like a guarantee of someone gets in. But I don't actually know how the Capcom split the points. That bit confuses me. But there's 2 leaderboards where there's a global one and a regional one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because you mentioned to me, Bubsy, when you were playing Call of Duty, innit? So basically, like, they split it up. So I was thinking, like, something like if you maybe, like, put more slots in next season, and then you had, like, you split it off in 2. The season, you split it up in 2. So the first half, top 16 qualifiers, world leaderboard, and then the top 15, you split it up in 3 regions. So basically, the second half of the season, you go back to season 1, where you have 5 players from each region, and then the last spot. The reason I'm saying top 15 and not 16, so the last spot is LCQ.
Yeah, I just think that a regional system, hybrid system, would be so nice if they can figure it out, like the way Bubsy was saying, like kind of how Street Fighter does it, Capcom. I just think just for security, man, like to get some representation. Otherwise, it will kill. Imagine, I mean, it's very conceivable. It's very conceivable that at one of these world tours, let's say if it went on for like 20 years, yeah, that at one of these world tours there would be only Japanese, Korean, Pakistanis. It's conceivable, right? There'd be no Americans. There would be no Europeans. It's possible. I'm not saying it would happen. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And if that happened, how bad would that be? That you have a world finals where there's no American representation. There's no, like you said yourself, Joey, that there was a potential for only 1 American in that one finals that took place in 2018. And there was a potential for only a couple of Europeans. And this year we only had 1 European. Next year we could have the same thing, or even 0 Europeans. And then Joey, yourself, and other American players could potentially not make it in either. Which I don't think will happen because of the dojo system, but it's a potential, man, and I think that would be disastrous for a world tour. So there needs to be a safeguard put in place just in case that happens. Unless it's sort of like a preventive measure, try to, nip it in the bud, so to speak, and like get it out of there before it becomes a problem. So I would love to see a regional thing because I personally loved season 1 of the world tour. Anyway, I just loved the fact that we had separate regions because it kind of diverted attention towards the specific regions and their players in the first place. And I think it would be cool to have just that one tournament, which would be a regional, where it's just those people competing to see who's the best in that region. I don't know what you guys think.
But at the same time, you didn't get that much international competition. Like, of course, we had JDCR and them come over, but this season had a lot more players coming to each region.
Right.
Than did the first season.
It incentivizes people to travel like all over instead of sticking to their region.
Yeah, and then in the finals you have the clash, of playstyles. They haven't played against each other before the whole year, you know, because the whole year you just be centralized and just playing against the same playstyle, like the European playstyle.
Would you guys be would you guys be against the idea of having just a tournament per region where it guarantees you a spot in the finals? So that's 3 spots, 3 regions.
So you just win and then qualify, and then you can't participate in any more after that, right? Like that was the 2016 type of format they did, right?
Yeah, just something like that where it guarantees there'll be at least 1 per region. And like you don't know if you're gonna win that tournament, so you're gonna have to travel and do it anyway. You would have to, you know.
So personally, I like it because it means that, let's say you're not a sponsored player, you can't afford going to all this tournament. But if you are a really, really good player and you're really confident that you can go and win this regional last chance qualifier, then
regional LCQs, yeah.
So in that perspective, it's good, man, because not everyone is not sponsored. You know, they can't afford to travel throughout the whole tour.
A lot of people in the chat saying LCQ, they're calling it LCQ, saying let's put it at the end of the season, like Adam and Kawis are saying, and Yup, they're saying, look, LCQ. What do you guys think? I like that idea, man. Just as a safeguard, because
I like it too.
Yeah, Joey's like, I'm gonna win that shit, bro.
Sounds hype. Sounds hype.
He's already planning.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool, man. Regional LCQs, one per region. Put it on the tour. Choose a tournament for it. Maybe Evo could be that one. That'd be a cut ups. That'd be actually really. No, you can't do that. You can't have Evo be the. But you could choose a tournament, right? Where it's only that tournaments. Only that people from that. Only people from that can play, and do the thing, innit? What are you laughing at, bro?
It's just Adam saying, Joy pushing for regional online LCQ.
That's right. That's right.
That's what he was, bro. That online PS4 3 bar.
I'll be in business.
Man won't travel all year there, and he's just gonna win. But yeah,
I'll win that shit all day.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see what the chat thinks as well. If they like the idea, because we are reading the chat. Do you guys think that it would be good to have an LCQ per region? I like the idea just to guarantee that there's going to be people represented in each region, because right now there's no guarantee.
Would you still do a general LCQ as well, or just nip that and just have at the finals?
I think. Well, I don't even want to call it. I don't think they should call it an LCQ. I think they should still call it a regional. But that then means that only 16 people qualify in the World Tour. So it's kind of it's a good number, right? Top 16, and then 3 from the regions, and then 1 from the actual LCQ that's open to everyone. It's like a global LCQ than the regional LCQ.
So basically, there's 4 reserve slots.
Yeah. And it makes sense. I think you should be rewarded for winning a tournament, man. Regional qualifier. That's a good.
What do you guys think about top 32 qualifying?
Oh yeah,
we'll get into that later. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that for the things to do next year part.
We need more money. Need more money to make this happen.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But I don't know if we do those 3 LCQs. Just like me thinking about it, logistically, would that mean the tour has to end earlier to have time for these events to run, get everyone's details to go to the LCQ kind of thing?
What do you mean?
How can I explain this?
No, because people would have already qualified. Those who's qualified are qualified. So you put the regional LCQs at the later point. But
there's going to be 3 different ones. They're not going to run them all on the same weekend.
No, yeah, you talk about timing for when they run them.
Yeah, I think you'll have to bring it back. Maybe the tour will be cut shorter a bit.
Yeah. I think maybe it should be at the end, and then have them 1 week after another, maybe just 1 week. I don't know. It depends on the schedule of the tournament, which one. But I not even sure if it's possible at this point. But I mean, I would really push for that, because you have top 16 qualifying on the leaderboard. Currently, that's how it would stand, and then you have the last the qualifiers. Let's say, for example, they could even paint it out like a picture, right, where you have a blue little line, and it says regional Europe spot, and then red regional America spot, and then the yellow, and it says regional Asia spot. And then I just think it'd be sick, man. I'd love to watch a tournament where the winner fucking qualifies, and it'll still be money on the line and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that's something to think about.
I like that idea of having a moment during the year where you just reward the total victory, first place, instead of it always being this cumulative rewarding like your overall points, just like rewarding that one moment. Like boom, you won a tournament, you're in.
Yeah,
it's a cool idea. Yeah.
You won a tournament which was clearly had something on the line where you had to clutch, and because Evo did that. Evo did that, man. Evo 2017, I believe. If you won that tournament, you were automatically qualified, and JDCR qualified for that year when he won Evo. So it's not like it hasn't been done before. These sort of tournaments. So I think it would, and I think it would be very, very important. And I don't know. I'd like to see that at the end of the year if it was possible, but just to guarantee that they're not going to have a situation where it's only Japan, Korea, Pakistan, where because we were very, very close to not having any Europeans in World Tour, and there's a lot of people that don't watch Tekken that usually that tune in to the World Tour just to watch their European brethren play, right? And it's sort of the same as me. If I'm watching Call of Duty, for example, I'll switch off if I don't see that there's any UK or European teams that are qualified for a tournament or something. I'll be like, oh shit, it's just America versus America. Well, that's boring, So
and there's a lot of people who does that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something for them to think about. I think that would be a good suggestion. Moving on, I want to talk about something which I don't care. I don't even care about the drama that might come from this. I want to speak about the Korea Master Event and Dubai. Dubai Master Event and Korea were probably the two worst run tournaments of the year.
Shit, go off.
Korea Master Event happened earlier in the year, and I've heard nothing but bad news about that event, about how it is run, about just general the tournament experience of everyone. Loha was telling me, everyone was telling me that it was terrible. But obviously I can't really speak to that because I wasn't there. But the fucking Dubai event was a shambles. An absolute fucking shambles. There was a guy, I'll give you an example of, there was many examples of what happened that was wrong. There was a guy that played in the loser bracket 6 times. He had 6 matches in the losers. As in, he lost, he went 0-2. Then they told him, play again. Wait, I have to play again? So I'm in the tournament? Yeah, you're in the tournament. Alright, cool. He plays, loses again. This man went 0-6 in an 0-2 tournament. This guy went 0-6 in a double elimination tournament.
Yeah. Wow, what? I didn't even know
in
that.
Dengo Jin's pool, with Gosain.
Oh.
My pool, man. Me, Gosain. And
yeah.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so basically, the problem was, right, so these events were both run by Rox, right? They were Rox Dragons Korea, Rox Dragons Dubai, right? The Rox and Roll. And these Rox and Roll people, unfortunately, they seem to not be good at running tournaments. It's just it's simple as that. They're just not good at running tournaments. They haven't done it before. They were not used to running these big brackets and stuff. So
they ran Korea Master.
They did Korea. It was Rox and Roll Korea, Rox and Roll Dubai, and both of them, from what I'm hearing, was terrible. And so Gosain, what happened with him? You can see him on screen right now. Gosain had to he got put into the loser bracket by someone, I forgot who. He then needed to play the winner of Dengo Jin and someone. They accidentally put Dengo Jin as the loser or something like that, so he played the wrong person, and all that shit happened because they just weren't running the bracket properly. And then Joey, the next day before top 16, John Ning had to be told you're not in top 16, even though he thought he was. They had to wake him up early. I woke up early, had to wake up Blackbeard early, Gosain, everyone, and we had to redo the losers finals. Actually, we had to redo the losers semis, losers quarters, losers semis, losers finals, right before top 16, on day number 2, and that was the only way to fix it because they fucked up on day number 1. And when Gosain, it's a master event, yeah. And when Gosain tried to tell them about it on the day 1, that this is not the person I'm supposed to be playing, they said no, shut up, sit down and play. And he's like, well, fuck it, I'll just play.
Yeah, I was there.
Blackbeard was in the pool, and then you were in that pool, right? So you had to play Gosain again.
Yeah, but I had to do my own matches, but I kept telling Gosain, man, bro, go make complaints about it, man, make some noise about it, man. Why are you not saying anything? And Gosain was like, these days, blah, blah, blah.
Well, from what I heard, they weren't even interested to listen to him. And it wasn't clear who was the actual tournament organizer.
No, the issue actually occurred because Rox and Roll, they got help from the OUD guys as well.
Yes.
So there were like 2 groups of people, running the brackets. So you had the Rox and Roll guys, and then you had the OUD guys. The problem was, in some pools, there were like a guy from each group running it at the same time.
Yeah.
So they both had like papers written with all the results.
And everybody was constantly blaming each other. They were like, "It's not my fault. It's his fault. Go talk to him." Fault.
Yeah. Is that OUG guy's fault? He wrote the wrong result. Is that guy's fault? He won the wrong result. And then the mix up happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and even beforehand, like my experience dealing with them, the bracket was fucked. Musician was playing you in the first match. There were like 3 French people or like 4 Europeans in one pool. And I was trying to explain to him, like, this is at 4 a.m., Joey, of the day. 4 a.m., I'm telling these guys, look, let me change. Rick's already said to me, bro, you can, I give you the tour's permission to change the brackets however you see fit. So he gave me permission. I had permission from Rick. But I still needed to convince the Rocks Dragons people to let me change it. And for me to explain, I had to explain to them the importance of regional seeding. I said, imagine, your 3 French guys travel to Dubai together to go play in the tournament, and you all play each other in the same pool. It's like you're playing your local friend, like that's bullshit. It shouldn't be happening. And you have too many strong players playing against each other because you only seeded top 32, which is contractually all he's obligated to do. But if you don't also seed these other guys who are really good, like Musician and these other guys, then you're going to have a really fucked up bracket where you have 2. So I was like, let me just change a few things to make this a little less fucked up. And you had a lot of people from the same team playing each other as well. I finally managed to convince him, and we did it. But I mean, I've just heard nothing but bad from people that were attending those events. Luckily, I wasn't playing at those events, but I've heard nothing but bad news from, that. So, I think, if you want to have people, leave it to experienced tournament organizers, man. Let them do the job. Even if you're going to sponsor the event or what, do not get involved in the organizational aspect. The OUG guys should have been running the whole thing. Those guys are experienced. Don't concern yourselves with something that you're not capable of doing, is what my advice is. And I know they're probably going to hate me for saying this, but you're not tournament organizers. It's clear. You fucked up. And Dubai is an event that was close to me as well, and Adnan, because we both were really pushing for this event last year, and it finally happened. And I hope it happens again, because Dubai is fucking amazing. Me and Bubsy, we went there for the first time, and we can vouch for that. It was a really good experience, and I hope there's another event there. And personally, I know people who can run a really good event there, so if they want to hit me up, they know where to find me. But that's how I see it.
It's just because you have your name on the tournament, you're sponsoring the tournament, don't feel obliged to to run it. Like get extra people to run it, like who are experienced in it and they know what they're doing. Just a matter of fact, that you have to explain regional seeding to a tournament organizer. You don't. Why should you have to be in that position that you're explaining regional seeding? I don't understand.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to do that.
It's tournament organizing 101, regional seeding. Seriously.
And he wasn't willing to change stuff like Musician versus you first match. I'm like, can't have that, man. I know that they're not in the top 32 of the world tour, but there's 2 fucking good players and they shouldn't be playing in round 1. It's just let us seed them based on our knowledge of them being fucking good at the game. Do you know what I mean? Literally just spoke about it. That I wanted to get that off my chest, because I believe, look, for the future, just leave the tournament organization to people who are experienced in that shit. Do you know what I mean? And if you want to...
if you're going back to Dubai, just leave it to OUG guys, man. Let them do it.
And if you just in general, man, just if you are gonna run an event, then hire people who can do the job.
I mean, it's so there's no fucking that up. It just cannot happen. You have these players traveling across the world, dedicating so much time, their money, it's just so much put into it. And once you make those fuck ups, once you have 2 people play each other that weren't supposed to play and the bracket's moving along and you have to reverse things, the damage is done. You cannot fix it. Either you make people go back and play matches again, at which point you've just completely degraded the tournament integrity and you've messed with players' heads, or I actually saw this happen at Absolute Battle in 2017. It was a challenger event. A match got reported incorrectly. This guy dropped into losers when he wasn't supposed to, and he didn't realize it. So he goes and plays his next match, and he loses. And he's like, "Okay, I'm in losers bracket now." And then he's waiting. They never call him. He's like, "Hey, am I gonna play again today?" And they're like, "You're out of the tournament, dude." He's like, I lost one. He's like, I lost one time.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, we messed up. But we've gone too far. There's nothing we can do for you now. We're like, we'll refund you your money.
That's not enough.
That's what their solution was. And like, it's just once you make that mistake, you have messed up so badly. Like it cannot happen.
Yeah.
It just can't happen.
It can't, man, and that's why I was told that we need to redo it, because there is no way that Gosane is gonna go out of the tournament to someone that he was not supposed to play. Right? Dengo won that match. It was supposed to be him versus Dengo, which they ended up doing over, and they Gosane played Dengo, beat him, and then beat Adnan, and then he ended up having to fight John Ding, which again went right down to it was literally final pixel. And for John Ding to wake up to that. And wake up to, oh, by the way, John Ding, you thought you were in top 16? Ha, no, you're not. You still need to play Gosane, or the winner of these three guys, and that will determine. And this guy needed the points as well. So this guy was stressed. He was pissed. He knew. He understood the situation, that it wasn't anyone's fault but the organizers. But he didn't want to be there. You can tell this guy wanted to be at home, sleep in, and Jinhee was fucking pissed off as well. It's just not cool, man. It is what it is. Leave it to the tournament organizers, man. That's my contention with this. But moving on, something that we talked about in the start of the year. This is very important now. This is the very, very, very important point, which pissed Asim off to such a degree that he was willing to throw hands. Massive season change to the characters midway through the
I think this sounded mad.
He was pissed, Bubsy. You don't know, man. I've had to listen to him talk about this. What do you guys think, Bubsy? Give me your opinion on this.
I think it is the worst idea that anyone could have come up with. I think the team needs to really now work on. I'm talking about the team, the development team. Fucking get the season changed in December after the World Tour's finished. Have that, was it tour normally starts in like April, right?
Yeah.
Is it April, May?
Yeah.
Have that December to May, April, whatever time for people to learn the season and just run with it. You cannot change the fucking game, in the middle. It's like, because this season was like a huge change. I felt like so many new combos, so much new moves, new characters. It's like, and by the way, next week tournament.
It's something that Joey picked up on as well earlier, is that the way they make these decisions are based on the current status of of the tournaments and people's results, right? So they actually nerfed Kazumi again. But you think about it, she was before Arslan, she was seen as a weak character because she got nerfed in season 2. So she lost her down back 4 hitting grounded, and she lost her while standing 1-2 being super hit confirmable. Her 1-1 turned from -1 to -3. Down forward 1 got nerfed range, and a lot of things got changed to the point where Take stopped using her. He ran with Paul the entire way, and so now Kazumi is seen as not a strong character. Arslan all of a sudden comes onto the scene, beats the shit out of everyone. Now all of a sudden Kazumi is too strong, right? And then she gets nerfed again, which wouldn't have happened if Arslan didn't perform. That's my opinion. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I think she would not have got nerfed again, because the opinion, the general consensus about Kazumi was that she was not strong anymore, because everyone dropped her apart from Ulsan. So so they nerfed Kazumi again, which I think was a direct nerf to Arslan, and that clearly fucked with him. I know, because I spoke to him multiple times, and he actually came to me and said, Spag, what do I do? Who shall I fucking play, man? He asked me in Jordan, who shall I play? Do I play Kazumi? Do I play Akuma? What do I do? I don't know what to do anymore. They nerfed Geese, and of course Geese was a bit different because everyone was asking for Geese.
That character's fucked.
Yeah, that character was fucked, innit?
They should have let it rock to the December. Like, you've made your bed now. Just let it happen.
What do you think, Joey? What do you think? Like massive mid change to the World Tour, which can be done. Sometimes decisions are being made based on the current status of tournaments and results. And
it's such a mess because, like I was saying, there's so much just reactionary behavior. If some top player says this is crazy, then everybody goes along with it. Or if some player does well with that character in tournament, everyone goes along with it. Like, this is cheap, this is unfair, fix it. At the same time, there are, I do believe, legitimate balance problems. There are things that, like, tools that characters acquire in the game where it's like, why is this in the game? It's too much. But it's all become so messy because if you think back 5 years ago, once the game was out, it was out. It didn't change. So this is a new thing that people need to learn how to balance, because I do really like this season system. I think it's given so much longevity to the game. It's maintained so much excitement. Like when the new seasons come out, I'm like, this is so cool. Like there's all this new stuff and the life bars look different. There's new stages. Like it's really awesome. But when it comes to just micromanaging and manipulating the character strength just to like appease the current the current consensus, like community consensus, it's all getting a bit absurd. I think there needs to be more confidence from the developers in what they're doing, more trust in the developers, but they also, I think, need to do a bit of a better job because they've been putting in some mechanics that are pretty questionable, I think.
I agree with that.
It's a mess. I don't have like a clear answer, you know. I'm just talking.
No, but I think we all agree with that, man. It's like they can't do. Right now should be the moment where we are now discovering new things. Where we're getting used to the new characters. It gives people a chance. Arslan, for example, I feel so bad for him and Asim, bro, out of nowhere as well. No one was expecting Katarina to get fucked like she did, but she got fucked. So even he's like, I can't even go to Katarina anymore. Kazumi got nerfed, Katarina got nerfed, Geese got nerfed. Those are his three main characters, and some people could say Katarina arguably got more nerfs than Geese. Like it was bad. So all of a sudden now you need to you're midway through the world tour. There's a tournament happening next week. Your characters are fucked. What do you do? And not even just that, Joey, but other characters have been buffed. So like Claudio with Jopolix, Asim ended up going to a tournament where he was in winners finals, but he was going to play versus Jopolix in the grand finals, and he has his nerfed characters, but Jopolix now has a steroided version of his main character, and he's already a fucking good player, right? So it's like he lost that tournament, then he came second, and it's like that is so unfair. I feel that is really, really unfair. To do it midway through the season when so much is on the line, they've put so much money and resources into traveling to these tournaments. Someone's saying that he did play Dragunov, but he hadn't played Dragunov for such a long time. You can't just pick up a character out of nowhere and just instantly be as good as your main character.
You gotta stay loyal, man.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking stay loyal, because it sucks. But I think personally, as a player, like if that type of thing were happening to me, I wouldn't want to mindfuck myself and be like, I need a different character.
Yeah.
That's just doing a lot of damage, I think, like to your tournament mentality.
It's the right attitude, because you can see like Chikarin won the world tour. He had Geese, and everyone wrote off Geese and not good. Perfect example. He stuck
I'm
with
gonna
Geese.
put my hand up. I did not write off Geese. Look at the tweet.
That character's still crazy.
Before the season 3 drop, and everyone was talking shit, and I said the Geese and the Akuma will still win in season 3.
Deadly Rave, dude. Oh my god,
Why?
It does a million damage.
That last hit for some reason, bro.
Bro, it requires execution, bro. You have to push all these buttons, bro. It's not easy, bro.
10 buttons.
Buttons, bro. 10 combinations, bro. Left, right, up, down, bro. It's too hard.
Bro, but either way, man. Like I agree with you, Joey, that you should stick with your character, all that kind of stuff. But man, I just don't do that, man. Come on, that's so bad for these players that are putting times in. They put in all this work, and all of a sudden it's like that work has to be now undone. And even Nee was struggling for a while in season 3 to get used to the new patch. And it's like, if that guy's struggling, bro, man, like come on, man. There's some people that can't dedicate that much time. That this is the moment right now. This off period where we're off season. This is where we should be learning like the new meta of the game, and so we're ready for when April comes and we have this world tour, and then just rock with it, man, and just believe in your balancing. That's how it should be, and I know it's not going to be that way. I hope it is, man. I hope they don't do any massive balance changes midway.
You remember Greece? Listen.
Yes.
That was like 1 or 2 weeks after the new patch in it, and that was crazy, man. Because you saw players like they've adjusted to the meta, they've adapted to all the playstyles, to all the characters, to now going into a vital challenger, where suddenly you're looking out for new moves. Like
nobody knows what's going on. Yeah.
No one knows what's going on. Like people are getting hit by Claudio back 3-3. Paul's new screen.
Fam, I'm gonna be. I need one pixel left. Yeah, Man will just throw out the Jack 1+2, yeah? Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna dunk a second.
You're gonna dunk. You're gonna
That is
fucking dunk for
guaranteed.
sure.
That is guaranteed.
Yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
you're gonna dunk.
Yeah, 100% dead.
And then I was playing. Like, I was playing in the Greek tournament, and my first match was against Paul, and he was doing that. Like I've adjusted. Like I know Paul's playstyle now. I've adjusted to him. Yeah, like this should be the. This is how I've adjusted to the season as well. This is how I should carry it out to the end. But now I'm getting hit by the new QCB 3-2 mid. You know, like so now I'm scared of getting hit by new moves when I shouldn't. You know,
it's kind of crazy when they take the strings and they change highs to mids and
That's
mids to
fucked.
lows. Like
Joey,
it's kind of fucked. Yeah.
I remember the first time I got launched by that and counter hit. I was like, "What the hell is what just happened?" It blew my mind. I was like, "I was over."
So at this point, it should be the player like who's most well prepared, he's in form right now, but instead he's getting hit by new strings and getting teased.
Well, because it's what it comes down to is it's so much easier offensively to just hit the original input and it's got all these new properties than it is to be on the defending side and like know what the hell's going on. I mean, like the offense is way stronger than the defense, and it just creates
and your muscle memory from how many months and years are set. You know, some of these strings have been around for a while.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You can't override that in a day.
Yeah, like deck 1+2. You know, some people are still ducking it, man. You know?
Yeah. As much as you're gonna know theoretically, you'll know while you're ducking. You're gonna be ducking at 1+2 like a dickhead, knowing that you're gonna get hit. Like, I know I'm gonna get hit, but my hands are moving on their own, bruv. And you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna lose a tournament. You're gonna go fucking second place and lose a billion points and then cry about it like Asim.
As soon as you block that first hit, you're like, I lost.
I fucking lost that shit.
Half a season's worth of muscle memory. Just flush down the toilet, man. All that muscle memory, just flush down the toilet. Put a bunch of shit upon it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's
not
bullshit.
Even half a season, bro. I'm still upset by that pool one. That's like that's a lifetime. That's never been. I swear, that's a lifetime of that. And then I got launched, and I think that broke my spirit.
So I think we're all in agreement that there should not be a massive season change mid-world tour, man. We can't have that.
No, it should be all the like imagine like we had this new season pass, you know, all this Leroy and all that. And if you added all the new moves and all the wall bounce and all that shit along with it, how hype would it be, right?
Yeah.
Like this big huge package of new moves, new characters, it would be so much more hype.
Yeah.
I think it's at the best point as well. Yeah, off season, something new for everyone to play as well.
Enough people for train, enough time for people to practice, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
I think
it's perfect. Yeah.
That said, like, I think it's something I'm a little bit concerned about is how everything is so tour centric, because like we're saying, if you drop these balance patches like in the off season, there's still going to be tournaments that are heavily affected by it. They're just not tour events, you know. Like depending on when they drop it, you know, people might be going into Evo Japan like, I don't know what's going on with the game right now. So well, like you guys were saying, dropping it like right after finals probably be a good idea, because there aren't like super consequential tournaments over the next month, like between December and the end of January.
Yeah.
But what I'm kind of concerned about, I think the chat kind of wanted us to go here, but like about Leroy, is that I have a strong suspicion that this character is going to be untouched, mostly untouched until the tour starts again. And it's kind of just like this, well, fuck every tournament that's not on the tour over the next 4 months.
I mean, I would agree with that, but I was watching Markman stream today, and he was like, yeah, I'm just playing Leroy before he gets fucked. So like, I feel like when Markman says something, it always happens, innit? So I feel he's probably gonna get fucked before Evo Japan. But how he's gonna get fucked, who knows? I mean, do they even know how to? There's so many things about him that need to change.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I was complaining about this, I think, to Adnan. If you play a big character, why the hell does his hill hit grounded?
Bro, his orbital hits grounded to normal characters.
Oh my god. That's the one thing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna lay down on this ground and not eat no what the fuck, I've just been orbital healed.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we can't go into it now, but there's so much about that character that is bullshit. If you want to know, you know, you can watch my archives, man.
You already know. Everyone already knows.
Yeah, pretty much everyone already knows. So yeah, moving on, we all agree that massive season change should not happen mid-World Tour, especially when it's based on like the consensus general and results on what's people happening. You know, Arslan's, Kazumi, Geese, you know, blah blah blah. Don't do that, please don't do that. Moving on to another thing, I just want a quick question, because it has been an issue. Do you guys want first to 3 for top 8? What do you guys think about that for Tekken World Tour, or like? It's a question that was asked earlier, like maybe a year ago, but I want to revisit it and say, what do you guys actually think? Because looking at Street Fighter does that, right? And I've seen so many 0-2s and then 3-match comebacks, and it even happens in Tekken, like when we do have the losers finals and top 3.
But the thing about with Street Fighter is 2 rounds.
I know, but it's still a match, man. And I know it's 2 rounds, but I've seen it in Tekken many times in Tag 2 as well, you know. Where you get these 3-match comebacks. What do you guys think about, like, I know it's going to be long, it would be longer, sorry, but I don't know.
So, okay, that's a good segue, because I wanted to talk about the format of the World Finals as well. I think I would like to see that kind of tweaked. And maybe if they tweak it, then that could work, because some of the matches, the way it ran now with the round robin, it came to the point where certain matches didn't mean anything, and they were just played, and I felt
like Jimmy versus Chanel, like
like stuff like that. It's just like well, I feel like every match should be something to play for. It's more engaging. That's why I kind of like the double elim.
And
then if it's like that, then maybe okay, first to 3, because it is just double elim now.
Oh, okay. What do you think about that, Joey?
Personally, I wouldn't be for it, actually. I think as a player, like, you want those extra games. It just feels good. It feels more stable. But I think the spectator balance just shifts away from what we want too much. I think, unfortunate as it is, like, the attention span, it is where it is. Top 8s already take a pretty long time, and drawing it out with first to 3, I think it would take too long. And also the spectators of this game, they really just sort of love that really high volatility, like, holy shit, anything can happen. Like, they love, like, the super intense momentum swifts and how meaningful they are. I think people get really engaged with the first to 2 format. So
yeah, I agree. I think that for first to 3 is purely speaking from a player perspective, like, to make your experience better. Whereas first to 2, as a commentator, I can speak, like, obviously for me it's a lot more exciting to know that you've lost a match, now you're fucked if you lose the next one, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm chilling here thinking, yeah, man. But yeah, it would be mainly just to help to please the players, sort of thing. But yeah, there is also the whole thing about, you know, is it going to take longer? You know, a lot of people do want first to 3, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a change. I think it's gonna stay the same. But yeah,
the thing is, like, we have dedicated days. Like, most of the time is just Sunday dedicated to top 3. Top 8. So there is time enough. And most of us, we are OGs. Like, all of us, we are OG players, man, and we know how much a first to 3. How much a difference it makes. Like, we've seen so many comebacks from 0-2s to 3-2s. That's hype, man. That's really hype in my book, man. You know, seeing those comebacks is something really, really special, and it creates special moments as well. So time is not the issue, man. We have you know, usually it's top 8 Sunday, so, you know, the time is there.
I guess so. We'll see, man. I don't think it's going to be changed, but it was a question that I wanted to bring up anyway, because
I think there's just mainly like pros and cons in it. Like, they both have way that some things here, but
one more negative thing that I want to end with, unless you guys have more, is just the Smash GG and Tekken Sight. Something Adam told me in the chat. It goes Smash GG and Tekken Sight was confusing. You know, both had kind of different scores. You know, it'd be good to fix that. And I know Smash GG is hard to deal with, but
it's very buggy, very glitchy, man.
It's just hard. It's just hard to navigate around and to get shit done. You know, it's not like challenge.
Yeah. You remember when Mario signed up and then suddenly he wasn't signed up and his name was just appeared.
Yeah, it's weird, and sometimes they don't show the team names and all sorts. So, but yeah, is there anything else that you guys think about the negatives? Like anything negative that you thought about this World Tour and stuff like that?
I don't know. Maybe as a chat, I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
right
if the
now.
chat has anything to contribute to it as well. Oh, of course, man. Yeah, I completely forgot literally Twitch chat, man. And
Oh my god.
I want to say, right? I want to say that as
I thought you were saving that for the call outs.
Oh, no.
Save it.
I want to talk about it because when I was at BTC, I think that's the first time I looked at a chat and I was like, fuck me, what has happened? I literally, that went through my mind. As soon as I sat down in the chat, I'm looking at the chat, I'm like, what the hell has happened? Yeah. There are so many toxic motherfuckers in this chat now, in these Twitch chats that are tournament Twitch chats. So what happened is at BTC, which was really bad, right, is the chat, we had 2 monitors where we were commentating from. We had a couch as well, so people could stand behind us and, you know, they could be on the camera and, it was a really good environment kind of vibe happening in BTC. That's how BTC's always been, Berlin Tekken Clash, for you guys not aware. But, the Twitch chat would just talk so much shit about me, about, my commentary partners, and then the people standing behind us, and then there were cosplayers there that they were preparing to come to Berlin Tekken Clash for about 4 or 5 months, as in this was a special occasion for them. It wasn't like for me where although I love BTC and it was special, but for them it was more. They were there specifically for this. Yeah, they were invited, and they were preparing their cosplays to come specifically for that event. Whereas I've been traveling everywhere, right? And for them it was so special, and they came and they were on camera and they had amazing cosplays, and the chat went fucking ham on them for no reason. It was crazy. They were saying so many mean things, and for me it's like in my head I was like, I'm kind of used to this kind of toxicity, but one of the cosplayers broke down, and she, I was told in a break that she was crying and she was really upset, and the other cosplayers told me, they took me on I had my 5-minute break, and they said, and even those cosplayers from Poland, they were really upset as well. Though they didn't show it, they were super upset as well, and they told me afterwards it actually did affect them. And a couple of them didn't come. They were gonna come cosplay both days, but they didn't end up coming cosplay for the Sunday because they got kind of put off by it because of the chat. And it's like there's so much of that as well in just every tournament stream that I go to. I just see toxicity everywhere. It doesn't matter who goes on stream. There'll be a guy on stream, they'll find something to say mean about them, the Tekken World Tour chat, which I'm sure you guys saw, was the most racist chat I've seen in a while. People calling it Pakis, fuck these Pakis, Pakistanis, this and that, fuck you, da 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 da, fucking smelly, blah blah blah, this and that, all sorts of really bad things. I'm like, bro, where does this come from? Where is this coming? And yes, I understand that, yes, Tekken has become mainstream, and that there's what comes with that is this kind of these trolls. They come with it, these Twitch trolls, when the game becomes popular, when it has a bit of a vibe. But what can be done about it? There has to be something done about it.
It's really quite absurd and surprising to me. Of course, people are saying oh, it's just mainstreaming, and these voices are going to be there, and there's trolls. It's amazing to me that Tekken, the official Tekken channel, has let this go for so long and has done nothing about it. I mean, can you imagine if you were watching an official football broadcast and there was just a chat running down the side where anybody who was watching could just say whatever they wanted about the players, and they broadcasted it to everybody? It's an official. This is the official Tekken channel, and they allow these voices to be heard. It's practically an endorsement. I mean, this doesn't have to be a public forum. This is your chat. You can moderate it however you want. You can have whatever voices you want coming through. And these voices affect people. They affect the players. They affect the community. They come in. They want to have a positive experience, and they're just seeing the worst of humanity. It's disgusting,
Yeah. It's completely unfiltered.
It's so easy to moderate. So easy. Could be fixed, no problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, then everyone is saying that the answer is more mods, and I think it's not even just more mods, but it's not just giving mod to people who are just names in the community, because I feel mod is just it has been for a long time just a glorification thing. It's hey, you are a legend in the community. Here, have a have a mod next to your name. Like there are actually people in my chat. I got really good mods that are like Gobble, Rose, and Callum and all these guys that are super good at modding, and they've done a great job when Bilal did his stream when Nee went over. And I got so many. I have bare mods in my chat, so there's like you can see it right now if you look at the chat in it. Like Jamie, fucking Jordan, Gosain, Adam, Christian, Umar. Like if anyone comes into my chat, yeah. That's it, duppy in it. They're dead, like straight duppy, like Bubsy says, isn't it? They're fucked. So someone came into my chat yesterday. They were like, "Oh, fuck you, Packy, this and that, blah, and just got got instantly banned, didn't it? Because this guy rage quit on me, and I went on him a bit.
John Wick shooting you down.
Yeah.
Well, man, it makes me think like that they want it this way. Like the Tekken channel wants it that way. They want all of this stuff scrolling. They want like all the voices. Like they consider it contributing to hype. I don't know. Like, if they're that apathetic about it, then they must either see it as positive or they just really don't care at all.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that when the chat moves so quickly, as a moderator, how it's really hard, I think, to keep up.
I was about to say there's like 10. They need something like an automated system to like just get rid of some keywords. Like
they do have that, but it's so easy to get around.
Maybe it needs to be subscriber only.
Yeah, it's really easy to get around. Like you just create space between or whatever.
Oh man, that is something that is a really good point Joey brought up. Is sub only. Imagine the Tekken channel hasn't.
And then it's more revenue for them anyway.
Yeah, the Tekken channel hasn't really pushed getting subs on the channel like Capcom Fighters has, for example. Like where are the sub badges? Where are the emotes that you can get for subbing to the Tekken channel? Why have I not, as a commentator, why am I not being able to go on the Twitch stream and be like, hey guys, sub to the Tekken Twitch channel if you want to have this and this benefit, you can have sub only, which will generate revenue as well. But I do think there needs to be more mods in general, and some of these mods that I know personally would be able to do such a good job in just like banning anyone. They are militant. Like some of these people are militant. They
need them Ares subs. So whoever moderates Ares' chat that shoots down everyone for anything. They need hired.
They need those guys, man. But yeah, I mean.
This can be fixed so easily, right? Like they can reach out to you. Like, do you know any trusted mods who doesn't travel to tournaments in that specific weekend, who are at home watching 100% the stream? Do you want to add them to the?
I would do that. I actually normally do that myself. I just shoot people. But I'm traveling all the time. That's the thing.
You're traveling all the time. So reach out to like Steve, you, Aris, people they trust, to actually. So like if they trust you, and you trust them, and you trust your mods, then that's it, fixed.
I agree. I mean, we all are in agreement that there needs to be, 100%. some more moderation. I think that's the number one thing we can go to. If that doesn't work, then we can think of another.
Someone mentioned slow mode as well once. I don't know how well.
5 second slow mode, and that'll make it easier for them to get shot in it. I don't give a shit if it makes their chat experience worse, just because I can only type every 5 seconds. It'll be easier to moderate, I think that these things needs to happen. 5 second slow mo, more mods, and just less tolerance for anything. If someone goes and says, "Hey, look at that guy's teeth," or "That guy's ugly," like. Just that instant ban, innit? Perma ban, like not even like a timeout. Like I hate timeouts because as soon as listen, a 10-minute timeout. This guy is not gonna this piece of shit is not gonna become a not piece of shit in 10 minutes. He's gonna 10 minutes later. He's still gonna be a cunt, right? So it's just ban him permanently. Just have no tolerance.
Yeah. But then you got them cunts that seem to make like 20 accounts in like 2 minutes, bro.
Do you know how hard it is for these guys to make accounts versus me clicking the button?
That was like last night on your stream, man.
Yeah.
The guy with the accounts.
But see how easy. But Adnan, for me, I can it's one click. For them, they have to go email address, username, password, verification.
They do it so quick. I don't understand how they do it so quick. I wish I could.
They build them up before time, dude. They've got like 100 burners ready to tear some man down.
I could just click though, innit? For me, it's easy. It's one click and it's like dead. Like it's easy as shit.
But seriously, are you really gonna click 100 times?
Yes, man. You think you fuck with me, man? I'll click 100 times, click 200 times, man. But still, we need to moderate that shit because there's so many bastards, man. But that's all I have for negatives. Would you guys have anything extra?
No.
I thought I had something, but I can't remember it now that we've
Well,
Now that
if it comes
I'm
back,
enraged. I'm enraged with the Twitch chat toxicity. You know.
if it comes back to you, you can always bring it back. I want to move
Yeah.
on just to our final segment, which is going to be suggestions for next year. You know, we did this last year. We suggested Dubai, and it was sick. You know, they listened, and you know, we have other suggestions and some stuff that I suggested last year, which didn't happen, which I want to suggest this year. We already spoke about having the regional, right? Which guarantees a spot at the finals. So it gives people who don't travel a chance. You know, I think we were all in agreement to have something like that. I think it would be really nice if they could consider having that, like European qualifier, regional, American and Korean, and then having a global LCQ, which would give 4 spots to 4 tournament winners, which is. I like that. And then have a top 16 on a point leaderboard. I don't know. I like that. But I'm sure a lot of people are not going to like that. I think that it could be quite controversial. But I think it would guarantee that we have regional representation everywhere. Guarantee. It's like you're not going to have like Super Kuma if he didn't hold it down and do the thing where he got top 8 in fucking Osaka and you know wins at European events and stuff like that and the mixed up. We wouldn't have had any Europeans. So I think you know at least having one per region would be perfect. I like that. One thing that I don't know what your opinion on this is, but suggestion for next year: get rid of Blast from the Past. Blast from the past. What do you guys think of that? Replace it with some other meaningful content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something that I really got inspired was when I saw UIU TV. You know, they did this player segments. You know. From the different trips they've been on, you know, that was really different. It felt really refreshing as well.
Yeah, so they've been doing like vlogs and stuff, and if you even watch, the OGN streams that have been happening in Korea, they have these little segments in the breaks where they're just showing like JDCR, CBM, and all these guys like doing fun little activities and stuff. It's a bit extra work, but I mean, there's no reason.
I was about to say that as well. Who's going to do that work?
But I say, don't completely like put out a Blast from the Past. You can still put it in, but you know, just occasionally here and there, and then sometimes do some vlogs and some player segments, some funny stuff. You know,
bro, you can sometimes just do like they can have someone come in and do like official tutorials, like you know. So this is how to backdash cancel in Tekken, and then you go like little tutorials officially done, and you
that's
know,
a great idea, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because people
They done that at Red Bull Kumite, didn't they? Just this weekend, where I'm sure they had like a little segment during the break. So sometimes they had like a player bit, and sometimes like a woman that was talking about, I don't know, invincibility frames on the EXDP kind of thing, like that.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe some on stage, you know, live on stage activities, man. You know, some giveaways for the audience. You know, some rap.
Actually, Kwis came up. I just read Kwis's give something for the Tekken content creators. That could be a way to actually boost, like, if they got like legit content creators in the community, use that to platform some of their social stuff.
Yeah,
That would actually be a sick idea.
Yeah,
if they got genuine good content,
Mm.
they can send it in, it gets all moderated, all gone through, and maybe have some content from them.
That'd be perfect, man, because these guys are doing really good content, man. Put it out there, you know, because there's been a really hot topic recently with Leffen playing Tekken, right, where it's like, this game is too hard to learn. I have to go over here, and there's so many different places where I have to go to learn this game. And, you know, I think it's like, okay, that could be a suggestion for, like, you know, Tekken World Tour people watching that are particularly not really good at the game. You know, teach them about the notation system. There's a lot of people that I know that don't know about 1, 2, 3, 4, and teach them about how to backdash cancel, you know, sidestepping, side walking, just the very fundamental things. You know, I think it's really, that could be good. And just to teach people the game, it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, and it's not always the same shit over and over again, where I've seen, you know, Pokechop beat the shit out of Blackbeard beat the shit out of Pokechop a million times. You beat the shit out of JDCR a billion times now on Blast from the Past. It's like, you know, something a bit fresh in, like, content creators would be good, because it kind of helps the community as well. You know, it's like you know, this whole
helps expand the audience. You know, if people just understand like little basics, because to be a spectator, the game's not that complicated. You know, you've got a life bar, they're beating each other up, and like if you could just teach people like a little more basics, I think it could be a lot more like enjoyable and expands like just the audience for Tekken a lot. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Something I really personally would like to see is some community insights. You know, something like, you know, you follow a player from the time he wakes up, he prepares, he goes down to his local arcade, you see the surroundings, the local top players playing as well.
Well, again, I think like Bubsy said, who's going to do the work? But it's but when K-Wiz came and said content creators, right? Then they could do that work. Someone like a Core Gaming or an Esteban or someone like that, or like a Blast.
And then edit the footage and get it.
They send it in, and then they get approved, and they say, okay, we're going to show this at this event, right? And it's like, cool, we're going to have it for just before top 8 at this break. We're going to have this, and we're going to schedule to watch your video, and that's awesome. We did that before Peacekeeper. We had you use the Fina tutorial shown before top 8 in the break. Instead of having a 10-minute break where people just switch off, they had you use Core Gaming had the Zafina tutorial before top 8, and I think it was really good. So something like that would be nice.
I'll just okay. Imagine these guys sending their content creator, and what's that? Content creator stealers. Imagine they're still their content.
Oh man.
Imagine like a official TVD segment with a Pakistani arcade, and then it's just suddenly on another YouTube channel.
Bro, that's gonna be nuts.
But it'll be easy to hit that shit down, then, isn't it?
I don't think so, bro. They'll hit their video and everything. Nah, bro. Before it even goes up, it's on someone else's YouTube, bro. All copyright monetized, everything.
That'd be so fun. I'd be so pissed if that happened to me, man. But I went all the way to Pakistan, innit? Got the shits and that. I was like traveling to hot arcades, recording and shit, and then some waste man at home just fucking takes it, innit? With some shitty fucking software.
Fucking 2020, the rise of BDJ.
BDJ, the comeback, innit? But either way, I do think that there should be a replacement for the Blast from the Past, whether it be tutorials, whether it be community insights or something like that. Content creators can definitely be of help here, and it will also help to promote them as well, because they are promoting the game, and I think it could be a nice little support system that can go in a full circle. Everybody wins in this situation, so I would like to see that. I also think that we should use the in-game notification on the game of Tekken 7 to help promote the Tekken World Tour tournaments if there's happening.
Instead of having the same DLCs just all the time,
So in Black Ops 3, for example, you could press when you go into the main menu. You could, if there was a tournament happening, you literally press square.
Yeah.
You press square, and then the thing full screens to the COD World League Twitch stream. So it could help bolster up the numbers. It can get people watching that don't really know what's happening, because there's a lot of people that don't know what the World Tour is that play Tekken. There's a lot of casual players, and they just tune in. They're like, oh shit, there's a tournament. So let me just press 1, and then boom, I have thingy. So there's a lot of games that do that, but Tekken's not doing it, and I think it would be really cool if they did. What do you guys think?
No, 100. Yeah,
100. It's only for the good. I always did that, actually. When I play Black Ops 3, like sometimes I forgot that the COD World League was on, and then instead of playing, I would just sit back and watch it. Instead of opening my laptop, and I'll just watch it.
So I see the chat. A lot of people saying that League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch, a lot of games do it, and like I said, Black Ops 3 did it, man, and it did it in a really cool way.
Those are the biggest games.
Yeah,
biggest games. Yeah,
there's a reason why they're the biggest games, and that's
learn from the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely something which I think needs to be done next year. Another thing which I wanted to talk about is merchandise, man. Let me try not to fucking break anything, but have a look at this, yeah. So Osaka Challenger, and you get one of these. It's still in the packaging. Lowhigh gave it to me. Asuka. From Osaka as well, the lore, if you're aware of the lore, this t-shirt, I might give it away, Asuka t-shirt. Now this is the kind of stuff where it's really important if you think about it, right? My idea was every master event should get its own custom-made sort of t-shirts where they can sell, right? Imagine for versus fighting, it's Steve, UK. For France, for the mix-up, or for whatever tournament ends up being the tournament next year, it's Lily, or for example, French, Monaco, whatever. And then for any other tournament, if there's one in Thailand, then it'll be fuck your mom, and other tournaments in it. Like, I think having a t-shirt would be really. What do you guys think about that idea? Like I said it last year as well. I really want, even if they're not gonna do that, I just want more merch, man. Fuck me, give me some more merch, man. Like T-shirts, you know, all sorts. We had in the first year of the World Tour, we had like wristbands, we had bags and all sorts, man. But I haven't seen much this year.
No, I haven't actually. I didn't even think about it until you just said it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I'm sure people would buy that shit too, man. There's a hell of people that would buy it. So if it's like a limited time only, like these JB style T-shirt designs for, you know, for Poland, you're gonna have, you know, this character T-shirt design, and they're only available for a limited amount of time while the tournament is happening on that weekend. Let's see how many we can buy. You know, that could really work.
Yeah, I mean, in earlier Tekkens, we didn't see that many casual people coming at the tournaments, but at majors now you actually see a lot of spectators coming for the tournaments. So I think it's a great idea. I think they get some great sales going on. You know, it's people who come as a spectator for a tournament not only watch the matches, but you get some nice merchandise with them home as well.
Yeah,
that would have worked so well in Dubai. Thinking about it, that would have worked really.
Oh yeah, you see, yeah, so many people watching from sidelines, so many kids watching. You know, like there's some proper sales going on.
Yeah, you can get sick sales, man. Imagine for Dubai, you had Shaheen. You had like a Shaheen T-shirt, sick design from JB Styles, and you could use that money to go into the prize pool for Tekken. You could even one thing that Adam was telling me is that you could use. This is a separate point, but still kind of the same thing. Where DLC, like costumes and stuff, can be the money from that can go into also funding the Tekken World Tour.
That's what Street Fighter did.
Yeah, and it's what MK did as well. They did that. They had the Sub-Zero costume, which funded the entire one costume that cost $2, funded the entire season of the MK World Tour, which was like $500,000 or $300,000 or some shit. So like, they could do that. They could have like a Tekken 4 pack, you know, where Tekken 4 costumes are available. I think they give too much for free in this game. I would like to see that. A lot of people would support it, like a Tekken World Tour package where you know you pay for $10 or $5 and you can like contribute to the prize pool and get stuff out of it. Merch, I just want to see more merch, man, as well. Like people are sucker for merch, man. I am. I know hella people would be like collecting these T-shirts like it's a collectible, and they're like, okay, I got the UK JB style shirt. I got the France one. Oh, I wasn't able to get the Korea one. I wasn't able to get the Korea one, man. The Hwarang shirt. Has anyone got that? I could swap you my Steve one for it. Like, I just think it'd be so sick, man. I don't know.
No,
man.
they do it for Japan. Like every time there's a Japanese tournament, it doesn't even have to be a fucking master. It just has to be a tournament, and they'll get a fucking shirt for it every time there's a Japanese.
You're gonna create some serious gambling addiction issues, man.
Hey man, anyone got them Dragon Off T-shirts, man? Hey man.
People getting punched and getting their merc stolen and shit.
I got these cheeseburgers, man. Like fucking mad. But yeah, that's all I got, man, for suggestions next year. I mean, if you guys have anything else to add in, I'd love to see that. Just to summarize, I'd love to see a regional per region to get any to get guaranteed people in. I'd love to see a replacement for Blast from the Past, where it concentrates more on tutorial and content and just content in general. Maybe community insights and stuff like that. And Twitch chat, we obviously would love to see more mods and stuff, and slow mode to help. To help that, and notifications in the Tekken game to help to people find Tekken World Tour videos and streams when they happen, and then the last one, just merch and DLC funding the World Tour prize pool. If there's anything else you guys think, let me know.
No. So did we get to the top 32 thing? Like, what do you think is a good idea?
I just don't think they have the money for it. It's a great idea, but they haven't got the money. They haven't got the money, right? And I think there won't be a change. It's gonna be stay top 20.
I think if they do top 32, then I don't think they could really do round robin pools. Take forever.
I don't think it would. It's not a problem. They don't have to do round robin. If the top 32, you can do double elim. That's fine. But and that would be the ideal situation if they could. But again, it's more money, and like Joey said, they need to find that money, right? So
yeah, exactly, for logistics as well and travel.
And another thing that Elite said, I completely forgot, is something that I really wanted to say, is having an analysis desk. Although the problem is, I understand the logistics behind it. I know that it's that not every tournament can do it. Not every master is going to be equipped to be able to do an analysis desk. So I understand that. As much as I would want it, and I would love to do analysis in the breaks to be able to break down certain things, like and if Namco is listening, I would love to do that. I would love to be able to at any tournament just go and do analysis that have 4 matches and then have a break, and have that break just be an analysis of what we just saw. I that's kind of stuff I would love to do.
With the rewinding and slow motion, that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be really good. But again, it's gonna require production, which not everybody is ready to do. So it is what it is. We'll see. I'd love to see that if they could do that. And there's a lot of people in the community that could do analysis on that level too. So we'll see. But yeah, is there anything else you guys would like to say? Suggestions? What would you guys like to see for the for next year, man?
Yeah, I mean, for the top 32 thing, I mean, I finished 31st this year, so I mean, I'm all for it. but no, I mean, I think all your suggestions are really good. I don't know if I can really add much more to it. Yeah, I mean, you've obviously been thinking about it very hard, and that's really cool. I haven't been thinking along those lines as much, so I've been really interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, obviously, every year we want to constantly keep on trying to improve this. In conclusion on everything, we want to. I think that it would be nice to get 3 dojos counting towards your final points instead of 4 to kind of minimize the potential for fraud, and just like in general, just to even the playing field a little bit. I would like to see one more European Challenger event to kind of offset the whole thing of having 2 outliers, and hopefully we won't have 2 outliers next year. I'd love to see there not be any massive season change midway through the World Tour, because I think it's very heavily based, like Joey said, based on general consensus, which is really unfair. A lot of the time these guys are idiots anyway, so like they don't know what they're talking about, and just generally stuff like that. I'd like to see I would like to see regionals as well. Personally, I would like to see 1 regional per region that would guarantee someone qualifying for the World Tour. A replacement for the blast from the past that would concentrate more on content, whether it be like behind the scenes, like tutorials, or just stuff like that. Twitch chat, we need to moderate better. Use the in-game notification for the Tekken game so people can watch the actual Tekken World Tour on the game itself, and tune into Twitch that way, and just get more merch and just more DLC that we can pay for, that will contribute to the prize pool of the World Tour, because obviously there is a need to find more sponsors, and that's going to be down to them. We can't sit here and be like, they know they need to find sponsors, and they need to do it. They've managed to find $150,000 this year from Astro and the KOF people, which is good, but I don't suspect that these guys are always going to be there to give you that much amount of money. So if this is going to sustain itself, and Tekken is growing, so got to keep on doing it, man. So I don't. That's everything in summary.
Yeah, I think we pretty much that's all I can think of as well. We got some really good suggestions in, and that's a solid bit to the table, I think. Yeah, and another thing I wanted to add, like I think next year is going to be really interesting, because I really think like this newly added frame data DLC and the whole punishment thing, and I just feel like people, the casual players are gonna level up really fast because of it. So it's gonna be interesting if that's gonna help in the direction of getting more good players growing out there.
Yeah, I hope so, man. And
because I've already noticed, like other than all the Leroys online and people just one match and running, like people actually, I feel like people actually like punishing now and stuff.
No, I've noticed that as well, as I've been playing quite a bit. Like,
because sometimes when I go rank, like before I felt like people didn't block punish at all, and now people are doing the right punishes and stuff like. So I think this frame data thing is really helping. So next season I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, so a really good suggestion in the chat as well from Adam is that having a Tekken show that kind of summarizes the World Tour every 1 or 2 weeks, which is something that me and Bubsy were doing. Last year, 2018, we were doing the Roundup. It was literally
Let's do it this year. We'll do it next.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. Like we've been a bit busy this year, right? And slightly lazy too. But I mean, like I said, I've traveled to like over 16 countries doing, promoting Tekken and doing stuff like that. So I have not been able to do the content. I've not been home. It's like the first time I've been home for like a while. So, but being able to do a podcast is very important. I'm trying to buy a laptop as well. I'm going to be buying a laptop, so I'll be able to do stuff like this on the go as well. So I don't just have to be at home in order to do it. I can actually do this kind of stuff anywhere, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, I definitely something that we want to do, and I know that we'll be able to do it for sure. Me and Bubsy have everything we need to be able to do that. So yeah, that's a good suggestion as well. Is that it? Is that it? Oh no, we're going over everything, and then Adam said that we should have like a show every couple of weeks on the Tekken World Tour just to summarize everything. And I'm saying that me and Bubsy were doing that in 2018, but we could do it again. In this upcoming World Tour. But I'm very excited. Of course, Tekken, the story of this year has been the diversity, as you can see on screen right now, man. I'm commentating with a Pakistani commentator who's been in the scene for a million years. He told me so many stories about Tekken in Pakistan, and there's so many other scenes that I want to tap into next year. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. I'm sure all of us want to do that as well. Just keep on growing Tekken, man.
And new communities, man, rising up to the occasion next year, man. Like a new Pakistan showing up, that'd be crazy, man. Like a new region, just some I don't know, Siberia or something, like Mongolia.
Right. So do you guys? Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to come across as absolute gangsters, isn't it? Pick right now who's gonna win Tekken World Tour 2020 next year.
A person or a region?
No, just a person. Who's winning next year?
Oh, bro, that's hard, bro.
No, but if you imagine you say it and then it comes to, and you're right, and then you can clip this shit now and be like, I said it a year ago. Who's gonna win? Look how sick I am. Go on, Bubsy. Who you got? And the chat can come in as well. The chat is on the screen, so if you guys say it and you can clip it as well. Say, look what I said. So guys.
Joey fucking Fury.
Oh yeah. No, you're not allowed to say yourself. You're not allowed to say yourself.
But yeah, I honestly, of course, I believe in myself, and I want to do better this coming year and travel more. But if I had to pick somebody other than myself, I would say Ulsan.
Yes, Ulsan.
Kid is incredible.
He is.
Kid is completely incredible. Yeah.
And you know what Ulsan told me as well is he wasn't performing well. Lohai told him the reason you're not performing well is because you've gone away from your old style of when you were younger. They call it Ulsan Goring, which is like high schooler Ulsan, where you were so aggressive and then you became passive. You became a lot more passive, and then you've not been winning. So go back to your high school days and become high schooler Ulsan. And he goes, okay, I'm going to do that. And as soon as he took that advice, he was beating everyone. And then you saw how well he did in Jordan, how well he did everywhere else. So yeah, Ulsan is a very good shout. What about you, Adnan? What do you think?
It's a very hard question, man.
Yeah, I have no idea, mate.
So I've got no idea. But I'm gonna say, like, now that we're off season and you see people, they're chilling and celebrating. It's Christmas, we being, just relaxing, man.
Yeah.
One community that I'm not seeing relaxing is the Pakistani community. Like, they've had like 2 practice tournaments already. Like, we are off season. We just got off Tekken World Tour finals, and they're already practicing hard, man. So.
Yeah,
so it's gotta be. I mean, these guys they were not satisfied with their performance.
Pick one.
Okay. Atif Bot.
All right, Atif. Okay. But Bubsy, what you got?
Bro, I don't know.
You have to pick one, man. Just pick a name. Just say a name, innit? You can go for the easy one. You could just say Ni. That's the thing.
Nah, Ni won't win.
That is deep.
It's not deep. I just don't think he'll win this. I'm not saying he won't win tournament. He'll win it all.
That is deep. Panic basketball, yeah. You gotta pick a name. You got 5 seconds.
Bro, man, that's even more pressure.
Bro.
Fucking hell, man.
I'm gonna say Hira Malik. I'm gonna go out there and say that. I think that if he can get on form again, he'll win. But then again, I said Chanel last year, and he went 0-4 in his pool. So, so I don't know. I'm just gonna,
I want to see Anakin win.
His Anakin's like just constant strength increase has been unbelievable throughout the whole year. Just he's like always on the brink of domination. So,
Anakin.
He's another one. He could definitely win.
That's a shout. That's a good shout. So I got Hira. You got Anakin. Bubsy says Anakin. Joey says either himself or Ulsan. And then Blackbeard says Atif Butt. So yeah, man. And you guys in the chat have also said your bit as well. I see all you guys giving your suggestions, and you can clip this. And this will be this archive will be saved. It'll be up on YouTube as well. But we have to end. Yeah.
But we all know Gusain's gonna win, innit?
Gusain's gonna win, yeah. Q-Sain, yeah. Q-Sain's gonna win the whole thing. But let's end this now. So we're gonna do our bitch callings, yeah? Like what you say? Bubsy, was it the waste man of the week, yeah? Who's the waste man of the year?
Waste man of the year.
Who's the waste man of the year?
Oh, it's easy who the waste man of the year.
That's easy for me. Easy.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
I'm gonna go first, man.
Not me.
Yeah. The one guy who made all these Christie account. Fucking bitch. You're a fucking waste, man, bro. When I saw the announcement, like, I cried because of Bruce, right? But I laughed more because you didn't get Christie back, you fucking bitch. Fuck you. Yeah. Go cry about it. Go, oh, this guy's disrespecting. I don't care, man. All these guys you called out. All these guys you cussed just because of this dumb clone character. Fuck you. Yeah.
Chantel, man. Chantel.
Yeah.
I loved you.
I loved you. But you cheated.
From Jonathan from church. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna run up and spray Christy.
Oh my days. Bubsy, what you got, man?
Bro, this the UK, bro. UK's
the whole UK?
The whole of UK.
Oh my god, we're getting deep now, boy.
Yeah, it's deep, but obviously everything with these elections and stuff, what has happened to this country, bro?
Yeah, it's...
No case. I'm not talking about the scene, bro. I'm talking about I'm talking about.
Is he calling Boris a bitch?
Boris is a waste man. Waste man of the decade.
Waste man.
Boris, you waste man.
All of them are. Bro, the UK is in such a mess.
But Brexit means Brexit, innit?
Oh, but it's not even Brexit anymore. This country is just. Bro,
it's going downhill. We're going to have to move, man. We can't even move to Joey's place because they got Trump, man. Like, it's just literally two chimps, like, in power
Boris
right now.
Boris and Trump are besties, man.
Like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna say some probably ignorant shit. I don't care, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they want this whole thing. They want Great Britain to be great again, bro. Do you remember the horse meat scandal? You man can't even fucking do beef properly. You got horse in, like, and you want bruv, like, what? You lot can't even farm and produce your. Like, what are you guys talking about? Come on, let's be real. Come on, man.
Horse, they can't even do beef properly.
Like, bruv, they were cutting up horses and putting them in lasagna. This is who. Look at this shit.
Yo, can I just say that when I agreed to come on the podcast, that this is what Spag sent me immediately after. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Bro, it's London and New York partnership, innit? It's Spag and Joey, man.
That's it, man.
The Spag and Joey show out here, man. Boris and Trump, boy. It's mad. That's a good bitch. That's a good waste man of the year. I don't know what's my waste man of the year. I would say my waste man of the year. Man, I haven't even thought about it. It's a hard one. There's so many waste men out here. My waste man of the year. Waste men of the year is Twitch chat, innit? Like I'll make it easy. Twitch chat. Yeah, you're the waste man of the year. All of you guys. Bro, smelly basement dwellers, man. You need to leave the house.
You need to fucking get some sunlight, man.
Yeah, get some sunlight and just like practice talking to people like in real life, innit? So you're not really awkward, and that's it, man. Just become better people, man. Because when you were a baby, when your parents were holding you in their hands, they were not expecting you to grow up to be a little cunt. You know what I mean?
Yes, bro. Yes, brother.
They might have been.
Oh, really? So their parents are gonna hold this little kid's gonna be a fucking Twitch troll cunt.
Look at this little cunt.
Look at this little bitch. Look at this.
Yes, because the parents are conservatives. I'm telling you. That was it. they were already fucked. Man.
Oh my days, because his parents are Tories. They're like, nah, you're gonna be a bitch because we're Tories, you know. Oh man, but yeah, Twitch chat, hold this L. You guys
Probably
suck.
get
Twitch
probably
chat,
get
if you're
birthed
from the
fucking
UK,
reptiles.
you get double L.
Double L if you're
That's
Tory. Imagine being Tory and Twitch chat. That is
That's
double L.
That's 3 strikes. That's 3 strikes. If your parents are conservative, you're in the Twitch chat, and you're in the UK, bruv, you're a fucking loser.
Wow. Damn, no chill from Bubsy, man. But yes,
No, man.
that's gonna be
I agree.
it from the Tekken World Tour Roundup. Ladies and lads, thank you so much for tuning in to this. Thank you, Bubsy, Joey, and Adnan, Blackbeard, for tuning in as well. I think it was very fruitful, this discussion that we've had. It went on a bit longer than I wanted to. It was actually almost 3 hours, man. I'm gonna
I
put
didn't get
this.
to call anybody a bitch, man.
Oh yeah, you skipped Joey, man.
Did I? Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go on.
It's fine, man. It's fine. You had time to think, man.
Did you think of one?
Grand finale.
Too much time.
The
Well-
grand finale.
You know,
This
I
is
like
it, this is it.
I like Spags because I've been bothered by the Twitch chat a lot. But
Yeah.
you know, anybody who's on Twitter, I mean, it was Adnan already that already said Christy, but anybody who's asking for some stupid fucking irrelevant character like Christy or June.
Ooh,
Or
June as well.
fucking
Oof,
Unknown,
ooh.
or Miharu Hirano. I guess that's you, Fergus. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's calling Fergus a waste man. He's like, oh, I guess that's you, innit? Fergus,
Like,
waste man
come
of the
on,
year.
man.
Waste man of the year, bruv.
I love you, nephew. I love you, nephew Ferg. I love
Why are
you.
you asking for Jun and for fucking Miharu? Who's Miharu?
Bro, he's got
Waste
Miharu,
man.
man. He's got this
Oh
Miharu
my
model now.
God, dude. Come on.
Asking for this
No
bitch.
one wants that, bruv. You know, even
on,
you know, I can show you the video on my phone, yeah, of when I was doing the fuck your mum announcement, innit? And all you see is Arslan is in front of me. He's like, June, it's gonna be June. I think it's June. And then just a massive guy comes down like, "Rrr." Yeah, it's like, oh, that's not June. Damn, Fergus is not even here, but he's gonna see this. He's gonna see this.
He's right
soon.
there, man.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's there.
Oh,
Fergus
he
2K.
is there, innit? I see him. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get wrecked.
Fergus, waste man of the year, bro.
The thing is, when Joey was saying that, in my head, damn, that's kind of Fergus, you know.
That is
I didn't
deep.
say anything.
Shout outs to Fergus,
bro,
man. Absolute waste man of the year, man. That's the title. I think title of waste man of the year goes to Fergus, man. Everyone congratulate Fergus. Everyone in the chat, give caps
Fergus.
to Fergus. Waste man of the year. Congratulations.
Fergus been sitting
But
here.
hold on. Wait, you know what?
He's been sitting here for 3 hours listening to the podcast and just got shot in the end.
Just waiting for this
Just
moment.
waiting to get shot. What a bitch.
What were you gonna say,
Oh.
Joey?
I was gonna say, I don't even know if I should.
Say it, man. Say it, bro. Fuck
You
it.
know what bothers me even more?
Yeah.
Just scrolling my timeline every day on Twitter
Yeah.
and just having to hear every day how much better Tag 2 is than Tekken 7.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
God damn it,
Hey,
Speed Kicks.
Speed
I
Kicks,
know
ah.
you fucking like Tag 2. You fucking waste man.
Oh my god.
It was good. It wasn't that good.
He goes, I know you like Tech 2, you fucking waste man.
Bro, he shot Fergus and Speed.
He goes, bro. So wait, I need to ask you the really important question now, innit? Which one is the waste man of the year? Is it Speed Kicks or is it Fergus?
You put me on the spot, man. It's,
Yeah. Or is it gonna be waste men? Are you gonna give them both?
No, it's Speed Kicks. It's Speed Kicks.
Wow, Speed Kicks. Okay.
Wow.
Speaking, okay, Fergus, you're lucky this time. You've been to the award. So he goes that at least I've won an award this year. Well, no, that's been taken away from you as well, bro. No longer the wasteman of the year. You have no awards this year. No Tekken World Tour points. None of that. Hold that L. Speed Kicks, congratulations. You are the wasteman of the year, as per Joey Fury. But yes, I'll tell you who are not wastemen. Everyone that actually tuned in for this podcast. Thank you so much.
Unless you're a Tory.
And what? Unless you're Tory, yeah, then you're a waste man. But thank you for everyone tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you again, Bubsy, Joey, and Adnan and Blackbeard. Sorry for tuning in to the thing and sharing your thoughts and giving your time. It was a very very long podcast. Went up to 3 hours. I'm gonna put this on YouTube and I will highlight it so you can go back to it. And I will clip certain moments out of this, mostly kind of the suggestions, so we can show people on Twitter like what we suggested for next year, and just spam Harada and shit. That seems to work, right? Fucking Zafina managed to make it back in, anything can happen, right? So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it from us. Yeah,
can we make the spam Roger or spam Alex? I want one of those.
Can we get someone? Can we get that Chantel person to just spam?
Yeah.
Spam Alex and Roger, man. We need some animals back in here, boy.
I want Alex.
Merry Christmas, man, everybody.
Yeah, man. Happy holidays, everybody.
Holidays, yeah.
Follow everyone. Joey Fury on Twitter. OG_Bubsy. Adnanish87. Follow all these guys. They're also on Twitch as well. You can drop their links in the ting.
But I'm never on Twitch, so.
Yeah,
me neither.
Drop. Follow them all on Twitter. That's their Twitters underneath there, man.
Twitter's fine, man. Twitter's fine.
Yeah. Go for their Twitters, man. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a good one. And that's gonna be it from us. Peace.
Right. Cheers, everybody. Yep.
Is it off?
Is it off?